Hello, 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 darlings. Welcome to another episode of On the Block with Jen. Happy Monday. Happy Monday, okay? Happy long as you got air in your lungs. And if you dread the thought of Monday, you're doing life wrong, okay? Check your life if you hate Mondays. If you hate any day of the week, you're doing something wrong. So check that, okay? Every day is a good day long as we have air in our lungs. Think about that. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's get you in and out today. Happy Monday, okay? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Don't forget you can reach me on all social media platforms on the block with Jen. You can also Gmail me on the block with Jen, and you can support the show starting early on Monday, okay? With a Cash App to On the Block with Jen or Super Chat me. It's the little $sign on the bottom right of the chat box. All right. Hi, guys. Long weekend, Super Bowl and all of that. I'm not even going to start talking about the Super Bowl till I get my people up here because Rihanna's performance, I can't talk about it by myself. I can't do it. I need the team up here. I can't do it. I'm not even going to try. Not even going to try. There are a couple layers to it, okay? And I want to dissect them just a little bit before we get into the main topic, okay? We cannot start this Monday without talking about Super Bowl Sunday. We can't do it. We can't do it, okay? So we got to do it before we get into the meat and taters. Give you a little appetizer. How you doing, George Cook Code Red? You had me dying backstage. He said, let's see what Jen is wearing today. It's like a little surprise with a Happy Meal, like a Happy Meal toy. That's funny. I had a Happy Meal over the weekend too. Yeah, I still eat Happy Meals, y'all. All right, guys. So I dropped the link. Let me get my people up here. Let's get this show on the road. Let's talk about it. Tonight's topic is juicy too, okay? Something that, you know how I make these observations of humans, right? I'm a people sponge and I just watch people, right? And I predict certain things and then they happen, which is really, really juicy. It's the ancestors talking through me, okay? It's the Taino and African ancestors. We see shit before it happens. But nobody listens to us until it's too late, right? We try to help and then it's too damn late. Tonight's topic is going to be, is men shaming women into submission losing its steam? Is men shaming women into submission losing its steam? I'm going to call you guys out tonight, okay? Because you guys do a lot of shaming of women. You've been getting away with it for not decades, but centuries. And is it finally losing its steam? Tristan made a comment earlier when I shared this topic with him, and he was like, it's the end of an era. It is the end of an era. Are we seeing, okay, the demise of men shaming women into submission? Are less women giving a good goddamn about what y'all think about how they live? We're going to talk about that tonight. Thank you for the early super chat, Code Red. I appreciate you. George Cook, what shaming? We're going to get into it. All right. Let's get into this. Welcome the always lovely and talented Lily from YB Limited. I got a special surprise for you this week coming up with Lily, by the way. So y'all better stay tuned and hit that notification bell, okay? Because we're going to have a jam-packed week of juicy stuff. I see you backstage, Haran. Give me less ceiling. Give me less ceiling. Hello, Lily. I love you, Haran. I love you, Haran.
I'm ready with the critiques, man.
I
get in
love
here
you.
first.
Oh, listen, I got that eagle eye. I spotted it right away.
Right.
I got that Eagle production eye. Listen, you're brave tonight, Haran, because I'm holding the man accountable tonight. Everybody loves the word accountable, right? Tonight, I'm holding the man accountable. Okay, so you're a brave soul for coming up tonight. We appreciate you. Thank you for giving me less ceiling. Okay,
No problem. I do what I can.
Haran be coming in like this. He come talk to us like this. Hey, what's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? No, baby, I need this right here. I need this.
It's difficult getting these camera angles down.
Oh yeah, I know. Trust me, I know. When I start the show, before I start, I'm always like this.
Right.
I will say this, man. I listen to women when it comes to angles, man, because women are the masters.
Yes, we are.
The angle, because let me tell you something. I done been duped in a few photos online.
Wait. Did you fall for the girl sitting on the bathroom sink with ass propped? Did you fall for that one?
Back in the days, way back in the days, man, I fell for a couple of the tricks that aren't cliche now.
We
But
have to
back in the
talk about the
days,
tricks. We have it's like
you know what I
the show
mean?
with the
The
yeah, it's like
leg
the
too, the leg where it got like stands out and you stand on your toe. It gives your ass that little extra pop and shit like that.
oh the tippy toe, like the little twisters on
Yeah,
the tippy toe. Look at
I
me.
learned real quick after that. I was like, she got a fat ass if she's barefooted, if she's flat footed. If she's flat footed standing on a square and it pops up, then that's a real hitter right there.
That's correct. I mean, the famous one is the bathroom sink. Them girls prop up on the
Hmm.
bathroom sink. That ass goes bow. Then you see
Right.
them in person. You're like, oh, okay.
I had ass envy until all the BBLs.
Right.
Like now I'm just like, you know what?
They took it too. You know what it is? They took it too far.
They did. Because
They
I
took
know
it too
some
far.
people with some really good BBLs that you would
Mhm.
never know unless they told you. Right. They're just perfect. Like it's what work is supposed to look like. I love good work. I'm a fan of good work. It's art.
Mhm. As am I. I mean, it literally is. When I look at a good BBL, I'm thinking about like Michelangelo. I'm thinking about the sculptor. I'm not thinking about the woman. I'm like, it has nothing to
Right.
do with you because this ain't your body. But it just goes to show like how good these doctors are. You
Yeah.
really are admiring the surgeon,
Yes.
not the woman. You're admiring because it's great work. There's some surgeons that refuse to do BBLs because they're very egotistical. I saw a little documentary, and there's some surgeons that refuse to do it because they're egotistical, and BBLs go bad. So then it's like now your work is walking around, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm always thinking about because a lot of these people use their PPP loans and their unemployment and a few other reparations to get their BBL, right?
Right.
So I'm just wondering, like, if I had a crystal ball to look into 20 years from now, the upkeep, they don't even, there's another thing they don't think about when it comes to upkeep, because I know a lot about this because, like I said, I have friends who
Mm-hmm.
have them, and this is a world, this, like the surgery world, there's a world, like
Oh,
the friend brought me into the world and gave me a peek into the world, and I was like, oh y'all, community, like you
yeah.
all, like it's a real thing. And so they share all kind of information or whatever,
Maybe we
and
should do that. Maybe we should do that on Thursday.
I would love to. Let me try to get some
Let's
people
do
in
it.
here.
Let's do it. Let's have a whole BBL topic on Thursday. We'll do that because we haven't spoken about that.
We haven't, like, what's taking us so long?
I have no idea. I don't know. Let's do it on Thursday.
There's a lot of angles we can take that.
Hell yeah. Yes, including deaths of BBL surgery victims.
Lots of them.
I've heard some really horrible stories. So let's get into the good, the bad, and the ugly on Thursday for BBLs. If you watch and be back here on Thursday. Yeah. Oh, look at Georgia Porgia backstage. How are you, darling? Can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I'm doing well. I'm interested in this topic. What shaming has men done that's now losing steam?
We're going to get into that, but we cannot move another further
until we talk about the Super Bowl, right?
Yes. First and foremost, let me just start out before we even get into Rihanna's performance. Okay, Rihanna's performance, which is making tons of headlines for a host of different reasons. I do want to say first, I want to congratulate the Boricuas at the Super Bowl because on the Chiefs side, we had Isaiah Pacheco, who's Boricua, and on the Eagles side, we have Robert Quinn, who is Boricua. So shout out to mis hermanos en el Super Bowl. Oh, congratulations, guys. So that was exciting to know. Isaiah Pacheco had the Puerto Rican flag on the back of his helmet. So I was like, yes, we don't know how to act.
Is he from Puerto Rico or is he like from New York, or do you know?
No, he's from Jersey. He's from New Jersey. His dad is Julio Pacheco. He's from Puerto Rico. So yeah, that was exciting to see. And these guys are babies. Like they look like full grown men. The kid is 23 years old. They're babies. They look like men on that field. And 23 as a man, but you know what I mean. I'm thinking 45, 50. They're babies. They're babies.
Yeah,
Can't
they're
hear
babies to
you.
me.
They're babies. I'm like, you're 23. Oh my God.
I know. I'm like,
You know what I'm saying? So congrats to them. I used to always complain that Puerto Rican men are fucking just, I know there was a book. Do you guys remember a book called The Invisible Man? Something like that about black men?
Yeah.
Oh, not about
Okay.
that. No.
Okay, so that's how I feel about Puerto Rican men. Like we've all worked all different worlds, from corporate to blue collar. We've all done a lot of stuff in the entertainment business as well. And I'm like, where are the Puerto Rican men? They were absent from everything. So I really consider them the invisible man. And you guys could come at me if you're watching me and you're a Puerto Rican man and you're like, nope, I've worked here, I've worked there. This is where we are. By all means, pull up to the block. I'm just saying, in my experience, I've worked corporate, I've worked entertainment, I've worked blue collar, I've worked sales. Where the Puerto Rican men? I don't see y'all. I don't even know where y'all work. Where are y'all? And then there's like one every now and then, like, what's his name? Ortiz. I think he played for the Giants. What is this guy name? He's dating Karuchi Tran. Fuck, I think he's a Giant. Victor Ortiz.
Okay.
Victor Ortiz.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think he's half Puerto Rican, but you know what I mean? It's a rare occurrence. And it's like Bruno Mars is Puerto Rican and Hawaiian. Maxwell is Puerto Rican and Haitian. Okay, a lot of people don't know that.
Who's the dude that did Sicario? I like that actor. He's a Puerto Rican dude.
Benicio del Toro is also Puerto Rican. He is our Puerto Rican Brad Pitt. And then it's like a lot of the guys that we do have, like Raul Julia, who was an amazing actor. He passed away. And then Big Pun, who was one of the best rappers in the game, he passed away. So it's not a lot of us. So I consider Puerto Rican men the real invisible man. But again, you want to challenge that? You want to pull up and let me know where you guys are in corporate America, in sports and in entertainment. I will dedicate an entire show to you. Come and correct me. By all means, come and correct me. But in my world, they're always missing, except for on the block. You know what I mean? They're plentiful on the block. But, where I've worked is like, there'd be one or two, right? So I'd like to see you guys. So if you want to challenge me, by all means,
so funny because I was listening to Pun earlier today. I was getting it in. Yeah, I was listening to
So Gmail me.
Him and Miss Jones.
Yeah. So Gmail me ontheblock@gmail if you want to do a topic like that. I'd love to hear it. No, Saint, were you about to interrupt without even saying hi?
I know. I have to get this in. Hello,
like,
everyone. Hello,
do you not know your place, Caucasian?
Yes. I was whatever I was doing. I was gonna say I was using my privilege. I was put it in.
I heard that. I heard. Listen, your privilege hit my headphone. The privilege hit my headphone. I was like.
Well, anyway, a white man's here. I have something to say.
Right. I was like, what just hold on now? We speaking.
No. I was only hearing a little bit of what you were saying. So that's something you want to talk about later on? Yes,
I would love to talk about it. Like, and here's the thing, right? It's funny. I do a show. We all come here together. I don't discriminate on the panel or in the chat. Whoever comes to see it, comes to see it. I don't target a certain audience. Right. I want to be universal. If you're Asian, black, white, purple, yellow, blue, green, and you want to get on the panel, you want to come watch a show, you are welcome. But for some reason, since my demographic audience is mostly black, people think that I solicit a black audience. No, I talk about what's interesting to me, what I think would be good for us to dissect, right? Now, I live in a black and Latin world, so I'm always going to lean towards that, right? Now, if I do an entire show about Jennifer Lopez, how many of you motherfuckers are pulling up? See? So I still have to do a show, right? And I have to do a show where, an audience is going to pull up. But there have been so many times when, unfortunately, it's like pulling teeth to get not only women up here, but Puerto Ricans up here. But, behind the scenes, I do these group chats on Instagram, and again, if you're a Puerto Rican and you're watching me and you want to challenge that, don't talk shit, pull up on the block with Jen at Gmail. But I've done group chats with like different Puerto Rican influencers, and I'm like, hey, I want to do this topic, blah, blah. And then everybody's gun-ho for the first few days, and they're like, oh, no, I can't. So I'm like, I'm not going to twist your arm. I'm only going to ask you to join me, but so many times, right? And then I stop eventually. But I would love to do a topic on Puerto Rican men, where are they? Like, where are they? I'm saying my experience, I haven't seen them a lot, from corporate America to the entertainment business to sports. Like, I was shocked these two guys were Puerto Rican. I was like, holy fuck, okay. Because I only thought of Aaron Hernandez, who's no longer with us, and then Victor Cruz. So now it's these two young guys. So
what two are you talking about?
For the Kansas City Chiefs, it was Isaiah Pacheco, and for the Eagles, it's Robert Quinn, who's actually the brother of the girl that the brown skin girl that won races, the track. Oh, I forgot her fucking name.
So Quinn, Robert Quinn's been around a while. That doesn't strike. And the Pacheco, you know what? When I saw, what is it, Pacheco? Is that
Pacheco?
You know what I thought? I didn't realize Russians had slaves in the past, because that's it doesn't sound Puerto Rican, and neither does Quinn. That's kind of strange name.
Really, Pacheco doesn't sound. It doesn't sound.
Well, I mean, if you, it sounds very Petrovich and Petelenko, and it sounds very Russian.
Okay.
I mean, but I don't know. I mean, you obviously, I just didn't realize that.
I don't know the origin of Pacheco. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I don't know the origin at all. I just know it's Pacheco, and I would say it Pacheco. I wouldn't say Pacheco.
Yeah.
But if it said Pacheco, then it can go to another country if I say it like that. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But that's what hit me in my mind. I'm like, you don't hear a lot of Black people with like Slavic names, you know. Like that's kind of, but it might be a Puerto Rican. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to look
so they're actually Black and Puerto Rican, both of them. You know, Robert Quinn and Isaiah Pacheco, they are Black and Puerto Rican. But you know, shout out to them. So again, if you're a Puerto Rican or know a Puerto Rican and you want to pull up, ven pa' acá. Okay.
I'm gonna have to ride down to Sunset Park and Bay Ridge.
Spanish and Portuguese. That's what it is. You're right. It's
Spanish and Portuguese. All right, guys. So let's get into this. Rihanna. Okay. Go ahead, Lily.
Y'all tread lightly. I take this shit seriously because that's my Pisces sister, and I'm you know, my heart can't take it. So y'all take it lightly now.
That shit was terrible.
Damn, rip the Band-Aid off, Haran. Yeah, I was just getting comfortable. I didn't even get to sit all the way down yet.
I didn't see any of it, so it's news to me. So it's
I wouldn't say.
Y'all are talking about.
I wouldn't say. I would say this. I happen to be a fan of her catalog. I think she's made some great songs. I thought it was a great move that she lip synced because she sounds horrible live, absolutely horrible live.
Okay.
So that was a smart move. When they said she was gonna do the Super Bowl, I was like, ugh, I hope she don't sing live. You know what I mean? And they went the correct route. You know, they pre-recorded it. They made sure to do whatever studio magic they needed to do with it, and it sounded great. She didn't lip sync it very well. There were moments when she literally just didn't even put the mic to her face. She just was walking around.
I saw that.
And the record is going. I'm like, okay, I guess everyone is just saying fuck it. You know what I mean? And so, but
she at this point she was like, shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond.
I was sitting
shine bright like a diamond. I was like, the mic.
I'm like, at a point I'm like, I don't know, maybe the baby kicked. I don't know. I don't know. You know what I mean?
I have a theory.
Let's hear it before I say what I gotta say.
Okay. So this is my theory. Now, let me be honest with you. I didn't watch, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because of my theory. This is why I didn't watch, because I knew this was not gonna be a good thing, and I'm gonna tell you why. I've been saying this for about 3 or 4 years now. That you all of you, including me, I'm on the screen too. You too. Need to leave her alone when it comes to music. Okay, stop bothering Rihanna about fucking music. She doesn't care about your goddamn music. Okay, she's become a billionaire off of fashion and makeup and all of that stuff, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is, in Haran, I know you can totally feel what I'm about to say on this one. If you are a real artist and a real, like, she's a real artist. Like, she might not be the best singer or whatever, but she's an artist to the core. If you're a real artist in today's world, you don't. It's hard to know where you fit at. So I'm sure that's why she hasn't given us an album. I'm almost very sure that's why she hasn't given us an album, because she's not inspired. I think she's lost her love for music. She's lost her love for the industry. I think the only reason why she did this was ego driven, because she's like, you know what's the one last thing I didn't fucking do? Let me go ahead and just knock this off of my bucket list, to-do list, and so I can get on back.
Go have a fucking baby too. Like, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah, I'm like, not kill two birds with one stone. Let me go ahead and have this baby and check this off the list and go on about my business. Literally, I knew that's what she was going to do. I knew she was just going to come up and like, here, y'all, I'm here, and just kind of just stand there and let background singers and trapeze dancers and, you know, everyone else just flip around her and go on back home and check it off her list. So that's why I felt I wasn't going to watch it. And that's, you know, that's my theory behind it. She's not interested.
Okay, well, you ain't gonna like what I gotta say, Lily. You ain't gonna like it at all.
Y'all not honoring my request to take it easy on Rihanna.
No, I'll say this. I will say this, right? I think anyone who is expecting Rihanna to do something other than Rihanna at the Super Bowl is dumb. Okay, Rihanna is not Adele. Rihanna's not Whitney Houston. Rihanna's Rihanna. We love her for what she gives as is. I will say that, okay? It's just like when we go see, you know, when we pull up a Janet Jackson song, we're not expecting vocals. We're not expecting her to blow the roof off the church like Jennifer Hudson, right? I will say this. I was super uber excited, and then I was quickly disappointed because it's like she kept bringing me there. And then it's like, where the fuck is Jay-Z? Where's Drake? Somebody come out and help. Where's Kanye? Like, they could have really made that. They could have blown it out the water when she did we own the.
Oh, she did Rerun This Town?
Yes. Yeah. When she did that, I got goosebumps. I said, Jay's coming out. Jay's coming out. I said, watch. I thought he was gonna come out like we are.
Yeah,
I was like, ah!
Yeah. That was what surprised me. I thought I thought she was going to bring more guests out to kind of abracadabra and keep you away from her. Yeah.
But I thought it was absolutely, she's not Prince. I thought it was silly that, and I said, I didn't blame Rihanna at all. She's pregnant. Come on, people. She's pregnant. She's never been a vocalist. I blamed Rock Nation. I was like, what's his name's father? I blamed Rock Nation. I blamed Jay-Z. Jay-Z was in the stands cheering her on. You know what I mean?
I'm sure he was.
But it was ridiculous that.
Yeah, we need Tory Lane's dad to come out. And
right. I was Tory Lane's dad. I blamed Rock Nation from beginning to end. Because he should know better. You're pregnant. She looked tired. She looked like, I'll fucking do this to get over with. Even though Rihanna's always going to give us Rihanna, I thought for Super Bowl, it was super lazy. It was ridiculous that they didn't have any guests coming out because she's not Prince. She's not Janet Jackson. She needed help, especially being pregnant. And the little sperm dancers. Here's the thing. There's so many things you could have done to supplement, like put the dancers in razzle dazzle. She had all the dancers in ski clothes,
hazmat uniforms.
It was terrible. They were covered.
Pandemic.
They were covered from head to toe. I'm like, I know they dripping sweat. There's no way they're not dripping sweat. Mm-hmm. Covered from head to toe in ski outfits, like something you go skiing in. I was waiting, okay, maybe the second song, they're going to rip that jacket off and the glitter is going to fly out and everybody's going to be in a glitter bustier and the guy's going to be in thongs. Nothing. They gave us nothing but a very bad lip sync Rihanna. So it's like, yeah, we got, it's Riri. We love Riri no matter what. She's pregnant. Then don't fucking do it, or do it and make sure you have bells and whistles so nobody notices that it's horrible, right? But I think what saved it a little bit was the camera work. And I guarantee she used the same camera guys that do the Amazon Savage fashion show, because they use the same angles. I've never seen the Super Bowl use those angles before. So I was like, she must have her Amazon
Yeah, I
team
heard the angles were
on this.
phenomenal.
No,
I
the
heard-
angles were
The
amazing.
only good thing I heard was the visual of the angles, and I saw little clips of that, and I thought that was phenomenal. But
so I'll say this. Wait, before you go, no, saying what I was gonna say that Lily wasn't gonna like is I don't think Rihanna's an artist. I don't see her as an artist. I think she's an entertainer. I don't see her as an artist. I don't see her being the type of person that sits down and is like, what is my motivation for this song today?
Oh.
I don't see her like that. I think her European, the DJs, the production company, and her songwriters are phenomenal. But I don't take Rihanna as the type that's like, oh my God, my motivation.
So she's more like a product, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't see her like, and I mean, one of my favorite songs of her, Diamond, Sia wrote that.
Yeah.
Right. Sia produced and wrote that. To me, an artist is like Prince. Are you sitting? Are you producing the music? Are you writing the music? That's an artist to me. Are you and she was very much, they gave her that bad girl persona, like good girl gone bad. I mean, it was genius, right? Because she was a little island girl, and then they chopped her hair. It was dark. Then they put her in dark clothes, and they really made Rihanna the badass that we love. I'll give her a pass. She's pregnant, but I can't give the entire production a pass because they dropped the ball. You knew she was pregnant. You know she can't sing. You know she can't dance. The audacity of you to not have other artists up there. For Jay not to come out.
Yeah, who approved that? Like they had to. You did like they had to know what she was going to give. Like that. This is the Super Bowl, so everything has to be approved. Who approved this?
Who fucking approved this? And then he was in the stand cheering on.
About her being pregnant, maybe she signed the contract before she got pregnant, and it was one of those things she had to do it.
Well,
yeah,
she wasn't
probably
8 months pregnant. She was probably 4 or 5 months. But the funny thing about that was, I was watching at work with the other guys, and that's the first.
I would say 5, 6. She looked big.
Well, yeah, it's probably 4 or 5, but maybe 5, 6. But we were
because I was 4 months, and you can't even tell. But
we were looking, and we're like, "Is that from?" Because I guess she has another baby, right? We were wondering if that was like the leftover from the other baby. We didn't know that she was pregnant. And
there was a couple people who thought that.
I had to Google up, and it says she's pregnant. But I'll give her some props on the not being scared of heights, because she was up there pretty damn high. But you know what? The Super Bowl does this from time to time. I mean, after Janet Jackson, we got some really lame Super Bowl bands, old bands. I remember when my team went to the Super Bowl, it was The Who. And I was so like, The Who?
They were playing it extra safe after.
Yeah, really safe. Last year, I thought was good. Now, some people might disagree. That was when they were in LA and they had like Snoop Dogg and they had all.
I didn't like last year's because I'm not a fan of a couple people that performed at all. So I'm like, it looked like, I don't like when things look
rushed
and contrived. Like, let's make this one Latin and let's make this one black. Like when they did Shakira and Jennifer Lopez, I was like, oh, okay, they're doing let's make this one Latin. Like, let's force this. And that felt like last year's was like, let's make this one black. Like, I don't like when things look contrived like that. Well, like, it's kind of like people are like appeasing.
But that was kind of like it was in LA, and this is like the LA sound, coming out of,
50 Cent, Eminem, Mary J. Blige are not West Coast.
Well, that's okay. But I'm just saying.
They're not.
Drake was smart enough to bring everybody out, though.
What we saw yesterday.
Because everyone knows that you're not going to. Who wants to go watch Dr. Dre?
I give them credit for that, for saying, let's put on a show. Mm-hmm. I don't know what they were thinking last night.
Right. But you'll see that, like, Prince was phenomenal. I'm trying to think of all the ones that in the past.
Beyonce and Bruno Mars did phenomenal.
That was amazing.
With real gems. I think Michael Jackson did one too, right?
He did.
Yeah, he did one. He was amazing.
So they come up with some real gems, and then they come up with some duds. And this just
to me.
And when you said the ski suit, when I was looking, all I could think about is they looked like they're a bunch of hazmat suits. They were totally in all white.
Because we're in a pandemic.
Well, with Prince, the guy was literally just there with his guitar and like 4 dances. I mean, but he's just that phenomenal.
Yeah,
He was
I mean, it's
singing
crazy.
live, and
Yeah, you don't have to
nature
dress
was
it
on
up.
his, and nature was also on his side because it began raining when he played Purple
Yeah,
Rain.
that was
So it
nice.
was just
That was so
like, you
nice.
know, that was just amazing when that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
So
think
okay.
was what's her name? With the Monsters? Didn't she do one a couple of years ago?
Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga, yeah. I can't remember.
As much as I love Gaga, I wasn't really feeling her. And she
yeah,
usually
it's
gives
hard
you
to remember. But
yeah,
That
it
whole
was
thing, didn't she drop from somewhere?
Yeah,
it was
way up top,
forgettable. Like I've seen her do Good Morning America and have way more like way back. She did one of them on Good Morning America or one of those shows, Today's Show. I get it mixed up. And she changed her outfit like 12 times live as she's dancing and singing. This bitch is like doing all I was like, girl, like it was. I've seen her do some amazing performances. So when she did Super Bowl, I was expecting her to take it up a notch, but she kind of went down a notch. It was very.
I will say one thing about Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga, a lot of people really don't take the time out to really understand this. This woman is a musical genius. I mean, this
No, she's
woman
an artist.
she's an artist. She's an artist. She's an artist who I believe, due to what was her manager's name? I think it was Troy Carter, something like that. But anyway, they turned her into an entertainer.
Yeah.
Prior to that, she was just an artist. She was just a straight artist. So
Vincent Herbert.
Yeah, so they got her in the studio with the right, producers, what I mean, popped up her style a little bit, made it a little bit more poppy, so on and so forth, had her doing all that weird shit. It worked. It worked.
Yeah.
It very much worked. But she, away from all of that, I've seen this woman pop up and just like lead bands. Like she led Sting's band for his birthday. She was doing it was Sting's birthday celebration, and she just pops up and plays the piano, and she's doing all these amazing jazz riffs and so on. I said,
she's good.
Incredible.
She's really good.
Gaga is an artist. I just don't like when they fall into, definitely an artist, hands down. I just don't like when they fall into, let me do some stupid shit so they can talk about me. That part I don't like. Like just a couple days ago, she was performing. She had some bitch throwing up on her on purpose, like green vomit.
Oh,
I'm like, what, you know what I mean?
She does that from time to time. She'll do not that in particular, but that what you're talking about, meaning just random shit, so she can go like, get back into the blogs again.
Like she's performing, and the act was this woman was standing in front of her and sticking her fingers down her throat and vomiting green slime on her, like vomiting. I don't know if the chick drank some green shit and she was like performing. And it looks so stupid and contrived. It's like there's so many things you can do to go viral. You want to get vomited on? Like, okay, all right.
It's getting out of control.
Well, who started all that was Madonna.
Yes. Yep.
She's like she's the archetype and still trying to do it today. Still trying to reinvent herself.
I agree with that. Yeah. I agree with that. I agree with that.
That is the worst though. Like there's a big difference between being youthful and looking desperate to stay young.
Yes.
And Madonna is like the epitome of desperate to stay young versus youthful. Youthful is just, everyone loves youthfulness. And when it's just like that natural beauty, even with aging, with fine lines and all of that stuff, like I think it's beautiful.
You know who I think does that amazingly? Her name...
Selma Hayek.
We love Selma.
You just like her tits. This shush. I'm talking about artists. I'm talking about artists. Lily, you probably know the name. The woman who sings "Oh Mickey, You So Fine."
Oh,
Toni Basil.
Oh, she's amazing at this age, and the way she moves and dances, like she's very youthful, and she's not biting the head off of any rats on stage or social media.
Cyndi Lauper.
Yes, Cyndi, like they move so youthful. They, you know what I mean? Cher is another good one, although her new boyfriend is questionable.
Yeah, I stay out of that part. I act like I don't see him. I'm like, we don't know you, sir. But other than that, we love Cher's work. She's had wonderful work. Yeah.
Yes.
She's just everything. And she does. She minds her business. She don't bother nobody.
Every now and then Cher throw a little shade.
It's sad because I think Madonna's catalog is one of the best in pop history. But what she's doing now is just taking so much away from her legacy. You know, it's just like just being desperate to be a part of the conversation, being
Right.
desperate to be seen. It's just taking so much away from a number of the amazing things she's done. Where is Sade? Well, Sade's I think she's
Isn't
where
she
is she?
no, isn't she releasing something soon, they said?
That's what
That's what
they
they
said.
said. That's
That's
what
what
they
they
Yeah.
said.
said.
I think she's in
What I love
Vegas,
about Sade is that she's gonna just
Is she?
come every 7 to 10 years, drop something hot, you know, do it
Mhm.
major big,
Yeah.
and be like, peace, and then you won't see
Yeah.
Mhm.
her for another 7 to 10 years.
I mean,
She can
Sade
do
could do
that.
no wrong.
She can do that. And
Yeah.
another one who's aging beautifully.
Hold on, because my shit starts bugging.
And I love somebody said they love Bjork even when she's a little weird. See, I like Gaga when she's a little weird, but when she's like going out of her way, see, it annoys me more when a person like Gaga, who's super talented, like why do you have to, you don't have to do that. Like
Yeah, it's
maybe
dumb.
somebody else, like
It's
maybe
dumb.
Tierra Marie or something. I don't know. But you Gaga, you don't have to do that.
So did you see going back to the Rihanna performance before we move on to the topic, because people is waiting. I see y'all walking in the room. Hit that like and subscribe for me. Welcome if you're here for the first time. You know, the backlash that she's getting now, like the vitriol from Donald Trump. This is a situation where it's like, you know, them angry black mobs on Twitter and Instagram, you know, the ones that went after Chappelle and shit like that. This is when, like, not only them, but any performer, entertainer with a platform should wreck him. And I mean, wreck him. No holds barred, post, tweets, pictures, like, wreck him. And I mean that with every fiber of my being. You like being an angry mob, you like bullying people, you like being the new version of oppression. When someone like Rihanna, who's just minding her business, came from nothing, built all the way up to being a billionaire, she's in your community, right? I hear that a lot. You're in our species, you're in our community. Well, Trump, right, is in your space, in your community, berating a black woman who's minded her business, okay? Whatever she said politically or not, still her opinion. She can have an opinion. She's allowed to have a political opinion, a political stance. And he's saying horrible things about her. Where y'all at, mob? Where y'all at, angry mob? Do I have to say it? Does the Latina have to say it?
Jen, we do.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's the problem.
Oh,
That
okay.
is what I was saying on another show. And I think when Haran had brought up a point about if somebody else would have said that it was a black man or saw a black woman, like black women have to come up to bat for black women, because it's like when something happens with the men, both the black men and the black women come to the defense. But when it's the women, when something happens with the women, it's only some of the black women, because you're still going to have the pick-me's on the other hand that's
Right.
going to, yeah, get her, you know? So unfortunately, yes, Jen, it's going to have to be us.
Sheesh. Because I'm like, sheesh. I'm like, how are you going to let that man, like, he's trying to bully her, right?
Yeah.
Big old white man with a huge platform. I'm like, where y'all at, angry mob?
Far too many black men stay sucking Donald Trump. I was never fascinated by that guy. Absolutely never. Ever since I was 12, I saw this dude as a fucking joke. You know what I mean? And I just wasn't impressed by it at
Well, I
all.
think it's
Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like I told you, Jen.
But you're not FBA, are you? You're
Here's the
Caribbean,
thing,
honey.
Here's the thing, Jay. Here's the thing. You know, like I told you before, I'm all for, giving, Caucasian men props, or, respecting their accomplishments. But I'm not big bro, no white man. You know what I mean? I'm just not out here. You know what I mean?
Hey, big bro, I see you, big bro.
I'm just not doing that. I'm not doing that with black men. You know what I mean? So it's just like, hey, I can acknowledge what you've done. Like, hey, man, that was a great move. But I'm not sucking any man. You know what I mean? And this is one of the reasons why I have problems with brothers. You know what I mean? Sucking Andrew Tate. Like, yo, come on, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know what I mean? And calling him Top G and the other dude, the Godfather. It's just very cringy.
There's so many leaders.
It's just like it's like you're about 2 seconds away from just grabbing your ankles and bending over, man. It just feels like that.
Right.
You know, the thing with Donald Trump is that you got to see. I mean, we can't play into acting like what he says even matters. I mean, it matters if he's running the country because that. But like I heard today, I was listening to my Sirius. I was listening to Howard Stern, and I guess evidently he tweeted that something about Howard Stern and how the show's so bad. He said it used to be good, but then he supported Crooked Hillary.
Crooked Hillary.
And this is a guy that went to Howard Stern's wedding, right? But Howard Stern rails against him. And as soon as that happened, suddenly now his show sucks.
He's a child.
So anybody that speaks against him,
yeah,
he's going to take whatever chance he can to try to. But to me, I don't even, unless I hear it on the news. I mean, he's not doing it on Truth Social, which, it's not even like a niche. I mean, I don't know, but sure. I mean, the Twitter mob should go after him if that's what they want to do. But I'm just saying he shouldn't even be that. What he says.
But I think we're beyond. So let me respond to that. I think we're beyond like, well, what this such and such says doesn't matter when they have a huge platform. I think we should have learned that from January 6th. Right?
No, you're right. That part of his audience, but that part, you're right. That if he's saying let's go and let's, when he's in the political realm, it does matter. I'm saying, but we should be able to see through what he's saying. Like, okay, so I don't even know what he said about Rihanna. I didn't even hear it, but I'm like, I'm not taking that serious.
And it's it's two-part for me. It's like someone with a huge platform can move a crowd, but the second thing is I'm just calling out the hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Because if I had said, and I'm Latina, right? And then Latina in the spaces, all hell would have broke loose. So, because I keep hearing about these spaces, so I'm like, that's the only reason I'm saying I keep hearing about these spaces that I just infiltrate all the time.
If you're on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, or TikTok, it's not your space. It ain't a black space. It ain't a white space. It ain't your space. It's their space.
Right. It's all their space. So I'm just calling out the hypocrisy. Like they have platforms, and I'm talking about specifically not only the mob, but the celebrities with huge followings, right? That are always for the people. They claim they're for the people. They should have threw something back at him. There are black artists that have, big followings as Trump has. They should have threw some back at him. And especially if it's not important, if it's throwaway statements. They tweet all day any fucking way.
Right.
So why not throw something back at him?
I get what you're saying. There's always that. I mean, I don't even know. Like, I know there's a core cult members of like 30% of the population that are going to go with him no matter what he does. And so if it becomes something bigger, and let's say, I don't know, we know in the country music, nobody is going to step up there because they'll lose like probably 70% of their audience. Mm-hmm. But if it's somebody like who's crossover, you might have to think twice, because that's like, he'll start, especially with somebody with a name that he can get his name tangled up in and start,
right.
Then he's going to start, and then maybe his mob, does the stupid boycott or makes a mountain out of a molehill. I
mean, there's so much, Haran and I talk about so much arrested development, like the men of today with large platforms is like, it's really like icky. It's gross because again, we expect more from elder men, no matter what race they are. And they're all acting like a bunch of idiots on social media.
It's Peter Pan syndrome.
I fail to understand the point of the black manosphere. I don't understand the point of it.
What do you mean?
Expound.
I just don't understand the point of it, because it's, what has it done? How long has it existed? What is the end game? What is the end goal? Because all I can basically date to is that it's a bunch of black men arguing with women.
Listen, I said before,
climbing in women's business. You know what I mean? Arguing with women about women's shit. You know what I mean? I'm seeing brothers arguing with women about their hair. Isn't that what women argue with other women about? You know what I mean? You know, like where's the man shit? Where's the man shit? Like,
well, I said before, long.
bonds, all
No,
that
I
shit.
said
Wait, one
before.
sec. Where's the weightlifting? I mean, where's the man shit? Dedicate a beer. Give me a beer recommendation, something. You know what I mean? Is there anything here outside of me arguing with my baby mama? Like, what is this? Like, I don't understand the point of this.
You don't think
I
there's
said before,
any
hold on, George. So I said before, there's a huge myth, and I notice it happens a lot in our communities where there's supposed to be some resolve, right? I hear that word a lot. Where's the resolve? And I said over and over again, places like, or spaces like the manosphere and the red pill and the, you name it, whatever, the FPA, and there are no solutions are resolved there. It is a society reject support group is what these groups have always been. And it's hard to hear, but that is the truth. All over social media, right? We're not changing global warming with these, streams. We're coming together, sharing ideas. And some of us leave better for it. I've learned shit here, especially on Freaky Friday. I've learned some shit here, right? So we take away some stuff, right? But there's no actual resolve, right? Or we would be all camped down and hitting the streets and, boots on the ground.
Absolutely.
But that doesn't happen here. So it's funny to me when I do sneak around, well, I used to, not anymore, but when I used to scroll around and I'm like, oh, let's see what this red pillar is talking about with this man. It's a life reject support group is what it is. These are support groups, right? Because the guys that are doing it and doing it well, they don't need these groups, these acronyms, the FBAs and the manospheres and the red pills and the black. They don't need, they're out there living. And then the people that are smart enough to know the majority of people think like this, then they're in these spaces making money off of them. That's it.
That's it.
Those are the two sides of it. The people that need the support group and the people that can monetize off the people that need the support group. That's just it. You're either or, but there's no resolve here. What's the resolve? Like, the resolve for child support, for instance. The guy I had up here talking about child support. How many men you think are going to follow him and do what he did?
Man, that's too much work.
Thank you.
Just keep the kid. Fuck it. And let me bitch in peace.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That's what it is.
So what do you all think is the reason why you barely see Black men in these spaces come to a Black woman's defense the way they do they cape for their men, their other men? Do they really hate women that much?
Before we respond, I did interrupt George, so I wanted him to finish his point.
Oh, okay. Yeah, as a semi-red pillar, in other words, part of my beliefs cross over into that area. But I think I hear what you're saying, Jim, but I think they do have some legitimate bitches about the way, if you want to talk about the divorce system and stuff like that. I think there is, but so I'm kind of like, what I'm basically saying is don't completely dismiss it, and that there are some, that's a great way when you dismiss it to throw it back into the political realm. When you continually dismiss a group of people, call them racist, call them whatever you want to call it, then you get backlash. The pendulum swings one way, but then when it swings back the other way, it can go very wrong. And so I'm kind of like, I guess the point I'm trying to make is just like I said just a second ago. Keep an open mind about what they're talking about, but I do agree with you in the sense that if they're not really putting that into action and going out and doing something about it, and I think about National Organization for Women, I think about ACT UP, I think about groups like that actually went out and did something. As a pro 2A guy myself, love them or hate them, the NRA, You know, people like that, you know, those groups, they fight for what they want and they go get it. You know,
So just to be clear, I'm not dismissing them, right, in the way you think I am, but they're like church to me. I don't need church. That's why I don't go to church, right? Life doesn't happen to me, right? And I think that people that usually congregate in these groups, whether it's manosphere or, you know what I mean, or women's groups, or that's not my issue. That's not my problem. And that's why I stopped going to church, because I was like, I'm in an emergency room where sick people come and I'm not sick. Why am I here? I don't frequent groups of women that are constantly complaining about men, because I don't have those complaints about men. So how stupid would I be to be in this group listening to these women have all these gripes and complaints about deadbeat baby daddies and child support? Right. That's not my world. It's not my existence. So I'm saying that there's support groups, and I'm all for support groups. But I was just addressing when people are like, where's the resolve? Or to answer Haran's question, there is no resolve. These are mostly, for the most part, support groups. And then there's a group that actually does go to the courts and fights and gets petitions signed and what have you. To me, they're different from a lot of these guys that cam up and bitch about women all day, like Haran was saying. These men are doing 4 or 5 hour streams about why Black women shouldn't wear wigs.
Yeah. You know, and to answer your question, Lily, I think maybe the reason why they don't is the narrative that may be, I don't know if it's been historically like that. That's the thing. In other words, before the time of social media and all that, how all of that parsed out. But it may be that because of the current narrative, they feel like, fuck it, you know, we're not, you know, you're now getting your comeuppance where, you know, we've been taking it in the ass or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. That's just my thought, you know.
Well,
maybe that's what's going on.
I'm over here laughing my ass off because we got JR, right? He tried to answer the question. No, this is funny.
Chat troll. That's our chat troll. He's like a little mouse.
This is the best. So he says, I guess he answered my question and he was like, I don't take up for women who aren't my family. Then proceeds to like be on every dude's nuts in the manosphere right after that. Like, you can't make this. You can't make this up. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Like he says, I don't take up for women who aren't my family. And then it's like, Kevin Samuels has 340 million views. Oh, and Fresh and Fit. Oh, 365. Oh, Alpha Male Strategies, 113 views. My family.
So he proved it. He proved your point and contradicted himself.
Right. That's
he contradicted himself. Yes. So he'll defend foreign dick, but not, you know, other. Okay. No, Saint, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. So what I see in all these groups that tend to, and they all follow the same pattern. So a lot of them, like say Kevin Samuel being called the Godfather, and he was saying the karate dude that got arrested, the fighter. What do they call him?
Andrew Tate.
Big Daddy.
Oh, Top G. He's a Big Daddy.
Top G. Okay. So, but it's very
karate dude.
And what you see in a lot of these YouTube, you saw it with cryptocurrency, where everybody's following the one dude who says, you need to buy this right now. It's all very cultish, and it's all using the same cutout pattern. You have the guy at the top that might be pretty good at talking a good game, and a lot of people don't want to follow. Plus, when it comes to like the manosphere, and in my opinion, it makes it a lot easier to blame all your faults in relationships on the other person when you have a lot of faults yourself, because we all do. We all need to self-examine. Believe me, I made so many mistakes in my life, and I know my faults. I know what I'm not good at, and I know, and unless I change them, it's always going to be that way. But it's a lot easier to get on these platforms and take out your frustration, because it's a lot easier to point that finger at other people as they're the problem instead of sitting there and working on yourself.
Way easier.
I just want to say this also to the men and the women in these YouTube spaces. Men are not the source of your problems, ladies. And women are not the source of your problems. Maybe just nobody like you. This is a theory, theoretically speaking. Maybe you're just not a likable motherfucker. Maybe a lot of you just aren't likable motherfuckers, man. This is, I mean, have you sat down and even for a second, even considered that? Like, what's the temperature of the room when you walk in? Did you see it before you walked in? Did you feel the energy level drop when you walked in? Do people clamor to speak to you? Is everyone treating you like Norm when you walk in? Norm, like, yeah, is anyone treating you like that? Like,
but Ron, we've seen that even on this panel. We've seen that on this panel where people come in, visitors, and they bring down the vibe of the whole panel. We've seen that happen.
It just collapses like a neutron star.
They suck the energy out of the room.
So true.
Lily, let me challenge something, right?
Mm-hmm.
We hear a lot, why don't Black men defend Black women? And that sounds like a collective, right? When you say, why don't Black men defend Black women? Why do you think that statement, that desire is so prevalent in the Black community, where I've never been in any other space where it's Asian, Latin, or white? I've never heard women say, why don't you Puerto Rican men defend Puerto Rican women when someone's coming at us? Like, why is it so prevalent? Why is there so much pressure put on Black men? Because quite frankly, and I'll end here, Black men don't want it. They don't want it.
That's the thing. It's very uneven. But it's so true. They don't want it.
They don't want it. Like, they scoff. They're like, I don't got to defend you. They scoff at it. And when you do find a man that says, yeah, let's defend Black women, it's rare.
It's rare. And then they get beat up. And then they get beat up on. Like,
oh yeah.
Like this one over here.
I will say this though. For some brothers, like brothers I know, and myself included, we've come to the aid of women at times, and we haven't said something. We haven't been in situations where we're saying something to somebody online. No, we've been in situations where we had to go down someplace and talk to some people and set some heads straight, and we've had to put our lives on the line. Mm-hmm. And then when you hear the whole story, then you look at the woman, and then you like, you didn't tell me that. And then she's like,
tell me that part.
Well, you gotta understand, I was in the heat of the conversation and I left some things out. I understand, but yeah.
Hey, Shelly.
You got me.
Shelly is here.
You got me down here. I'm in a particular situation. You know what I mean? I'm ready to, go do whatever.
You're right.
And
I've been in those situations.
You're not telling me the whole situation. So we've done this with our sisters, cousins. I've done it for, a number of people. And I've said to myself, like, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
This ain't happening again.
I dropped the link again for anybody who wants to come up. I dropped the link again. Haran, how do you feel about that as a Black man? Because you're the only Black man up here.
Well, it's just like this. It's just like this. If you call me up, treat that like the nuclear option. Mm-hmm. Because if you're my people, if you're my family, my whatever, and you call me up and you say blah, 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 you better have every bit of that fucking story straight. I mean, to a T. This better be the God honest, ironclad fucking truth. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because if I come down there, especially if I got my people with me, it might turn into another situation. So don't have me come down there, you know what I mean, and try to iron some shit out. And you over here, you just in the throes of manic, petty hatred. You just expanded on the story more than it was. Sometimes there's lives on the line.
Do you feel it's your duty? Do you feel it's your duty to defend Black women? Not women in general, but do you feel like it's your duty as a Black man to defend Black women the way people say? Like, why don't y'all defend Black women?
I'm defending, you know what I mean? There's levels to this shit.
Okay.
I'm defending, you know what I mean? I'll physically defend my people,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Sister, friend, whatever, Jen, if we were ever in a situation and things went left, of course I'm gonna defend you. You know what I mean? Or same thing with you, Lily. I mean, come on, you know what I mean? Shit like
Vice
that. But
versa, vice
you know what I
versa.
mean? But if I'm not gonna lie, if I'm on the TL and I see a motherfucker say some shit to a chick and I don't know the chick, and especially if I don't even like the chick, I'm most likely gonna scroll the fuck by. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
But
I'm
you
gonna,
know what,
I'm gonna
Gerardo,
keep it pushing.
what my thing, I guess my biggest point is, because and let me be really clear, we all know that you don't fall into that category, right? Because you've defended on this panel many a times, and there's other gentlemen who don't fall in that category. So if you don't fall in that category, that just does not apply to you. The thing is, it's like, okay, I can see if everybody kind of kept that energy and be like, okay, listen, I don't know you, don't need to defend you, and keep it moving, male or female. The issue that I see is that the moment another man is in distress, they throw their capes on, and they don't need to know the whole story. They don't need to know if he's telling the truth or not. They just know they don't like women, they hate women, and yeah, I want to believe that shit's true, and I'm about to come and take up for you.
I feel that.
But
That's
then when
fair.
it's in, we're just talking on the public, right? And then, but when it happens to a woman, it's just like crickets. And then it's like, okay, I guess we got to throw in our cape, ladies. Like, but it's like when it's the men that's in trouble, it's the men and the women throwing on their capes quickly.
I totally agree, because I've seen some men get dragged by women on online, and I just look like, damn, that sucks, dog. Keep it pushing, though. You know what I mean? That's not my man. That's not my man. You know what I mean? And first of all, I don't know what duck shit you probably did. You know what I mean? That you deserve to get dragged like an idiot. You know what I mean? So I'm not in the school of coming to any man's defense just because he's in an argument with a woman, and feminism will destroy us all and shit like that. Like, get the fuck out of here.
They're coming for our dicks. They're coming for our dicks.
We have to kill them all. Like, no, I'm not that guy,
deserves
man.
to be dragged.
You know what I mean? I'm not that guy. You probably said some duck shit. You're getting dragged.
So I've been in debates online with Black women who would come at me full force, and you know me, I like this shit. I'm like Haran. I'm like, you know what I mean? You simply hang out in the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. So I like the blood and the fisticuffs, and I like that shit, right? So sometimes I've been tapped a little bit, and I pull out a bazooka because I like it, right? I like the violence. But when I clap back, it's too much. And then those same women behind the scenes, because I've seen the screenshots, have stepped to Black men and said, why you didn't defend us from her? And I'm like, me? Like, I thought it was a woman addressing a woman who was addressing a woman who was addressing a woman. Why would you ask men to come in and defend you from a woman? And it's happened more than once, more than twice, more than thrice. Okay. So I think sometimes there is kind of like a cry wolf where, and this is going to be controversial, some, not all, if it doesn't apply to you, put it in a bubble and blow it away. Okay. But I think sometimes there is a certain demographic of Black women that use Black men as pit bulls. Like any little thing I'm going through, I'm gonna call on you, and you better defend me. And if you don't defend me, something is wrong with your Blackness. Am I just talking shit here?
No,
I agree not, with that.
No,
I've seen it. Like, look, listen, I've told a number of women, like, look, my masculinity, or my so-called toxic masculinity, it's not a wrench you go get, you know what I mean, whenever it suits you. No, that shit that you say is problematic in the community. You think that I need to be hugged more and I need to go to therapy and shit like that. That same thing that makes me this that you think is just so horrible. Don't run and go get that when you're about to get your ass beat.
Right.
You know what I mean? Don't run and go get that. Okay? If guns are bad, leave it on the dresser
Right.
when the smoke is coming for you.
Guns
Okay?
are
Because guns are bad. Okay?
very bad.
Guns
They're
are
very bad.
bad. Guns are very bad. Leave it there on the dresser when the motherfucking smoke comes for you that you motherfucking caused. Don't fucking grab it. No. Don't grab it. Go get the cops. You know what I mean? Go get the cops.
They're only
Go
minutes
get-
away.
come to-
Yep.
They're only
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah,
Yeah, because
exactly.
it's scary
Depending
when.
Sir, no. Depending on who you are, they're only minutes away.
Yeah.
Let's correct that. Let's get that correct.
It could be 3 hours away in New Orleans.
Excuse
If
me.
they make it.
No,
Depending
she said
on
they're
who
3
you
hours
are,
away.
Depending on who you are, they're only minutes away, or they're either minutes away, but they'll be there in 30 minutes, depending on who you are. But anyway, that's another topic entirely.
Oh yeah.
The point that I'm making here is that my masculinity, my the ferociousness of the black man and the aggressiveness of the black man that you constantly keep harping on, you saying is ruining the community. Do not try and weaponize that when you're trying to get somebody off your ass. No, don't do that. Go get you a nice, passive, diplomatic, straight edge black man. You know what I mean? Not to be crass, Lily. Maybe a number of your homosexual boyfriends that you have.
Child,
A number of these black women. Because a number of these black women. Number of these black women. They walk around with homosexual black men as pets. You know what I mean? That's another topic in itself. Because a number of gay men have told me that the relationship dynamic between black men and gay men is very strange. You know what I mean? There's a lot of darkness behind that, but that's another topic entirely. Again, don't come for me when the guns are blazing. Leave me alone. Let me watch Netflix. Let me be by myself drowning in my toxic masculinity. Please.
Okay, so on that note, welcome, Shelly. Great to see you
Hey,
again.
Shelly, how you doing, sweetie?
Hello, y'all.
You're right in time because we're going to shift into the topic. We were just kicking it for like an hour, defending our girl Rihanna.
Right.
She was coming
I
for
thought she was
free.
beautiful.
We did too. Boring as fuck, lame as fuck, but
It
beautiful.
was boring, but she's pregnant.
But beautiful.
Beautiful.
The little
Absolutely.
sperms and I thought that was a cute little
See, Shelly called it the little sperms too. They were the little sperms.
sperms dancing all over the
That's
stage.
what it was. They were circling around
They
the
were
egg.
sperms circling
They were
around
around the
her.
egg.
She was the red. Yeah, it was the whole thing.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna have to bring that back up.
Sperms in halftime.
We're gonna have to bring that back up our Freaky Friday. So tonight's topic is men shaming women into submission, losing its steam. And who did I use? One of the best shaming scenes I've ever seen in all my life. I'm a big Game of Thrones fan. There goes Cersei. Remember when she was shamed? Shame. She was made to walk naked for all her sins. And then Cersei came back with a vengeance. So that's why I used her on the thumbnail. Is it passé? Does it still work? And also, do women join in when men are shaming other women into submission? Are men still using shaming tactics to make women submit? And are women joining them? We call them pick-me's and pick-mishas. Let's talk about that. So, George, that is what I meant. Men shame women via religion, telling the women what the Bible says about what they should and shouldn't do. They shame them with marital fear-mongering. No one's going to want to marry you.
Support their looks.
Right? No one's going to want to marry you, right? That's fear-mongering. That's some other pressures there. So there are different things that men do to shame women into submission. Like half the things that, not even half, most of the shit that women don't do is because they think society is going to look at them a certain way. And when I say society, I mean men first, and then women, right, who are afraid to go against the grain, though they may want to do it too. They're intimidated by how they see that woman being treated. It's like the old Scarlet letter, right?
Yeah, I was going to bring that up.
They don't want to be that. They don't want to be that. So they're just going to agree with whatever the guys are saying. And we've seen that a lot on social media. We've seen, I saw this girl the other day I think she was on Fresh and Fit. The clip I sent you, I don't watch Fresh and Fit, but I did catch a clip that was on YouTube and I sent it to Iran. And there was this girl on the show and they were raving about it. Oh my gosh, she's so feminine. This is the most feminine woman you're ever going to see in your life. And she's so feminine. So I was like, oh, okay. I was like, let me click this. What the fuck are they talking about? How are you the most feminine woman ever? So it was just a young lady, pretty girl. And she was just sitting there like, yeah. And I worked at the thing and I graduated. Well, how far did you get in school? I just did some school. And that's good because men allegedly, supposedly don't like educated women. So here we are, this woman is sitting in her full femininity without higher learning. Right? You didn't go to college. You're perfect.
This
You're
is
perfect for the kitchen.
Yeah, that's that Kevin. That's the one
to
aspect of Kevin Samuels I totally disagreed with, where he
You're
was telling
perfect for
women
the
not to go to
kitchen.
school.
Yeah.
Like,
Jamaican men are like that a
I
lot.
completely disagreed with him on that.
What kind of men, Shelly?
Jamaican men. They're very
Haran.
They like to treat their women like dodos.
Haran.
I hate to say that like that, but they do.
We have a Jamaican on the line.
Yeah, I'm Jamaican.
Define that.
I've seen this all of my life.
Let's define that first.
Have you shamed Haran?
No, I'm asking her to defend.
Jamaican men tend to feel like they are empowered, and I don't want to put you on blast, but I come from.
No, go ahead, go right ahead.
And in my walk of my family, I have always seen that the men in our family, I don't want to put them on blast here, but they make their women feel like all they're capable of doing is being in a kitchen and making kids, and they have no brain, like none. So when I say that, I say like, I'm saying Jamaican because that's what I'm familiar with, but they do. Even when you go to Jamaica, the women are like little puppies. They just run behind the men for everything, and the men like it.
Shelly, are you watching is someone watching your TV?
My TV just came on. Hold on one second.
Oh, okay. I'm getting it in the phone. Jamaican man, have you shamed women into submission? Inquiring minds would like to know.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have. But it's a different kind of shaming.
Okay, I'm ready to hear about all this.
I know. I need to hear. There's some good kind of shaming.
Yeah, no, there's no good kind of
shaming. Our shaming is different from. We won't tell you shit like, oh, you'll die alone and shit like that.
What do you say?
We'll say shit like you'll miss out on the opportunity of being with me.
Sit down, make some pick me. That's how y'all talk.
We'll say like you'll miss out on the opportunity of being with me and having my children. We don't say shit like we don't say shit like, oh, you'll die alone and you'll die with a cat. We don't give a fuck about that. No, the idea is you'll miss out on me.
Right.
And by extension, they'll die alone.
Well, even if they
joking,
no, that's not. It's not even that. It's just like, even if the other man behind me won't be me, so you'll miss out on me. You'll never have another me. So that's
the way that they're raised. I think that they do that by nature.
But we're look, listen, Jamaican men we're raised to be very proud. We're not raised to believe any race of men are better than us.
Nope,
I agree. We're not raised to kowtow behind any man. You know what I mean? And how we are in the home is how we are outside of the home. You know,
isn't that a Caribbean thing?
It is.
Yes.
It is a lot of Caribbean.
Because let me say that this is probably going to surprise people or not. In comparison, the Caribbean, in comparison to what some of these clowns call themselves, the FBA, right? Yeah, and I said clowns. Come at me, bro. The difference I see is that the FBA concentrates a lot on what white men did to them and what white men do in this country. Whereas I noticed, and I didn't realize this till I had a behind the scenes conversation with Haran, and we were like, hold up, your father did that? My father did that. And it's basically, I never heard a peep about white people in my home growing up. Never. And I mean, ever did my father sit in the living room table or when we were hanging out or when I was going with him to his job. Never heard out of my father's mouth, those white men, X, Y, and Z. white
The
people X,
word-
Y, and
It's
Z.
not like that in the Caribbean. It's not about the color.
So that's what I've always been, because I'm Black American.
Mhm.
And I promise you, my family never brought white people up, period. Just it. And it is so funny because, you know, we all know my brother married a white woman, right? So when like she was the first person like introduced to our family, because I grew up in DC when it was truly chocolate city. Like the only white people lived on Capitol Hill in Georgetown. I happen to be raised on Capitol Hill, one of the two places or whatever. But the rest of my family, they didn't even know white people. They didn't think about them. And so it was funny when my brother got married to a white woman. It wasn't like, oh, you're bringing a white. They were just like, what does she eat? Like, like they didn't know what to do. They like, yeah,
because we don't put raisins in our potato salad.
Right, like just throw some raisins. Like they were just confused. They were just like, so do they talk about the same things we talk about? Like when we had to come, like both families came together. It was just so funny. My family was just sitting around looking like.
But do you notice the pattern? So when I had that conversation with Haran, I said, hold up. So this is probably a Caribbean thing because my dad's Puerto Rican, but there was no emphasis on what the white man was not letting him do. You guys know my father's history. Came from Puerto Rico with nothing, ended up owning real estate in a fucking garage, worked 2 jobs my whole life as far as I can remember. So I think that's the difference between what these guys that call themselves FBA, and you can put not on some, whatever orifice fits, but the majority of the FBA is constantly complaining about, you know, the reparations and what the white man is doing. And here's the thing. In the next 2-3 years, they'll be calling themselves something else, because we went from BIPOC to ADOS to now it's FBA is trending. You print some T-shirts, and 2-3 years they'll be calling themselves something else and what have you, and so on and so on. But I do notice there's a pattern with Caribbean fathers. Like they think they're the baddest motherfuckers on the planet.
Yes. My dad.
They think they're the baddest mother. My father my father used to call himself the king of Puerto Ricans when he used to come home from work. Like that is how my dad was. We never heard in our home growing up, white people this and white people. I wasn't really introduced to white people till I started traveling from the Bronx to Manhattan. And I started working corporate. So when I did work around white people, I never saw them as superior. I didn't understand that plight. When people were like, well, you know, white people, I'm like, they're regular people to me. I don't cower around them. I don't whisper around them. If I have something to say to them, I'm going to say it. So I was like, this is a Caribbean thing. Is that what it is?
I think so.
I think it's a Caribbean thing and a thing for like I think for me, because I grew up in a city that was all Black, we just didn't think about them, because our mayor was Black, our politicians were Black, everybody was Black, so we didn't look at them as superior just because they were not a thought in that way.
Sorry, no Saint and George.
Yeah, it was just.
I was going to just say.
They're like.
I was going to just throw. I was going to say something. Is that what Shelley and Haran are saying? Is what I've noticed as a white boy here in Florida. There is a difference between Black men from the Caribbean, it's a different set of attitudes and how they look at the world than the ones here that grew up here in the United States and stuff. So, and I think Jen and Shelley and Haran, y'all can, and Lily, you can correct me here, but I think this is what I was talking about a few nights ago when I said about getting over, the injustices that happen, not forgetting it, not justifying it. But what I think about is that it's about taking whatever cultural values work. I don't care where it comes from, whatever works. And if you take that on and assimilate that into your ethic, I don't know if I'm making any sense, but it's kind of like if you see, like if I saw a group of people who were very financially successful and did this, and they were very industrious and so on, and I came from a group that had nothing, I would want to do what those people are doing, the ones that are getting ahead. All right. And that's not necessarily, to me, it's like it's independent of your race. It's just, it's like the law. I believe life is wired a certain way, and if you get the recipe to the secret sauce, right, then you can decode some of this stuff. So, but anyway, but to y'all's point, yeah, I've noticed a big difference. In fact, I had a dude from Trinidad tell me, he was like, look, I'm not like the black people here. I grew up in Trinidad.
And that's how they think of it too.
Bang, bang.
Yeah.
My dad was like that. My dad was a monster when it came to that. He was like, don't bracket me as no black man in America. He was real. And my dad was biracial, and he was really like that. He stood like, apart. And my mom taught me growing up that I'm supposed to be extremely submissive. So when I married my first husband, I thought that I was supposed to just be a little puppy. That's probably why we got divorced, because it was just like everything. She was like, you need to do this. You need to make sure you do this. And no matter what he says, it's law. And I'm like, and after about 18 years of that, I was tired. I was like, look, I'm worn out. I don't know where else to run with you. Like, I was done. And I did. When I got divorced, it was like the worst thing in the world for my family. My dad was like, you just don't know how to follow directions. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to be stupid. Just everything he says do, you want me to just jump and do it. And I don't know how to do that. I'm not good at it.
So I want to address
myself.
I want to address this because it's a great point, right? Disciple of the way. I noticed this too, right? And this is respectfully. I promise you this respectfully. You guys know when I want to be disrespectful, I give zero fucks. But this is respectfully. When we're saying something, instead of, looking at it and like, let me see if that'll work for me. We have people on the panel right now that are saying white people don't move them, right? So instead of accepting that, right, and trying to figure out why we think that way, people fight to keep the white man as the oppressor. And that always blows my mind. They fight, right? They always find reasons as to why we have to act this way. And you don't. It is a choice. Life is a choice, right? But this is a great point. But it's because the Caribbeans, they ain't got to deal with most white folks. Let's be real. Then he reiterates, bro, it's because Caribbeans ain't got whites, bro. But here's the thing. My father came here in his 20s, raised me here. I was born here. Okay. Mm-hmm. So my father came here in his 20s without nothing, meaning that my father had to deal with white people from his 20s. Right. So he wasn't in the Caribbean. I wasn't born and raised in Puerto Rico. I was born and raised in New York City. So you can't say, well, they ain't got no white people in Puerto Rico. No, my father came here with nothing. He had nothing.
But it's the ideas he inserted in your head.
Right.
In the household.
Right. Yes.
Even regardless of your environment or where you are stationed.
Correct. Because he could have went to work. My father worked 2 jobs. He could have went to both. Who you think was the boss at those jobs? He could have went to work and came back home and complained about the white man all day. I didn't hear anything about white people in my home. I started being around white people going to school because the teachers were white. And then corporate America, corporate folks are white.
Right.
So it's not just because, you're in the Caribbean, ain't no white. What are you talking? No, you have to let that go. Well, you have to let that go.
Wait 1 second. I just want to say one thing real quick. To this guy's point, what he was saying, I understand what he's saying, but it's a little bit deeper than that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, and first of all, in Jamaica, there are minorities in Jamaica. They're white Jamaicans.
Yes.
There are also Asian Jamaicans. Regardless of what people even know. And there are white and Asian Jamaicans. So yes, there are minorities. However, one defining factor that is not often discussed between Caribbeans and American blacks is how slavery was taught to you. How slavery was taught to us, as Caribbeans, and I'll just say Jamaicans. Right. We fought back. We were violent. Mm-hmm. We were one of the most violent slaves. We even though they basically tore the country to shit after that, we still fought for our independence. We fought back. Now, in America, I'm not saying that you guys did not fight back. They just don't tell you how often you fought back.
Right.
They just tell you how often you got your ass beat.
Right. Make a bunch of slave movies.
They make a bunch of slave movies where you're getting your feet cut off, you're getting beat over the head with a goddamn Bible. They showed you being subjugated. They show you being raped and mutilated. They spend decades and decades and decades just tearing away at your self-esteem, tearing away at your subconscious. Look, listen, this is one of the reasons why I can't wrap my head around the idea of y'all let the government, let's say this happened. Y'all really
remove the men.
Yeah, you really
Remove
let
the men.
government. Yeah, you really let the government take you out of the home in the Black community. You let that happen. Like
I always say,
Caribbean
it's
men wouldn't
more
have
of us
done
than
that
them.
shit.
Right,
Caribbean men wouldn't have done that shit. No, this is my home. I'm not going nowhere.
Thank you so much for
Fuck
that.
you. Fuck you. I don't get. You could call the cops. Call them.
And what's
You know what I
gonna
mean?
happen? Right.
Call whoever you gonna call. No government, nobody's gonna tell me that I'm not gonna sit here on my couch with my kids, with whomsoever. You know what I mean? We ain't taking welfare. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna go get a motherfucking job. We gonna make this shit shake. But you see,
Oh, I'm
y'all,
taking all the welfare they got. Reparations.
y'all gonna sit
All
there
of
and
it.
y'all
I
gonna
pay
tell the
taxes,
world,
damn it.
y'all gonna tell the world that you allowed the government to kick you out the home. And through all these things, all I'm hearing at the end of the day, when I hear all the gripes and just the bitching, all I hear is you allowed women to take your power. You allow women to take your power. That's all I'm hearing.
Damn. And I get it. Hi, Damien. So I get it. I get what he's saying, right? It is a cultural thing. Our fathers were raised different, but then our fathers came to America.
I just need to say something. I can't be on there a long time. Okay.
Hold on, Damien. Hold on. So I just want to say that I'm just saying that you don't have to. It's a choice, but you should take a lesson from our fathers. It's very easy for you to bring a child into the world right now in 2023 and not indoctrinate them with, we were slaves, right? And check this movie out. Check this movie. And Will Smith just played a slave again. And you know what I mean? They don't have to do that. That's my point. Go ahead, Damien.
But Southern Black men were different, though.
I just had to jump on this real quick. I really can't even stay that long, but it's just I think I just heard the why don't Black people just get over it line just one too many times, and I just have to jump in there and say something. I'm sorry, Georgia, because there's a difference between Ricans, Jamaicans, and and people from the Caribbean. They chose to come here. They came in with an idea of progression. They said, let's go to America and make something better for ourselves. Let's do that. So they come with that advancement mentality. There's a difference between people whose lineage they came here in fucking bondage. They came here as slaves and with the express idea of oppression. Everything that their whole existence was nothing but one of oppression. And I know people want to jump in there. Is one of oppression. So even when it became out of fashion, or it became non-feasible, or the government used it a way to the only reason that slaves were free is because Lincoln thought it was the best way to bankrupt the Confederacy. So it was the quickest and most expedient way to have them lose money, and he could maintain power. That's the only reason they even thought about slavery. But still, after that, every law was made to understand, to let you know that you are less than. Every fucking law, Jim Crow laws, redlining, everything was put out there. You are less than. And then you know what they did when we started to progress? They built monuments to the dudes who said, you are less than. You go to a school named Thomas Jefferson, even though Thomas Jefferson was the general who fought to keep your people in bondage. So is this get over it? What is the time frame? If I grabbed you, held you in bondage for 200, held you people, your kids, grandkids in bondage for 2 years, what is the time frame for you to just get over it? Is it 20 years, 50 years, 100 years? What is an acceptable amount of bond for people to say no?
When you get sick of giving your power away,
Let me finish. It is just so what is it about our time? Because there is still, it ain't going away. There's still people who can remember. There's still people alive today whose great grandparents were slaves. There's still people alive today who parents or great grandparents were sharecroppers. There's still people alive today whose parents picked fucking cotton because that's only place where they could make money to feed the kids because they were living in a racist place in the South. So it's not like it's not like just get over it. People can come because when you have no connection to slavery whatsoever, except what you see on TV and read in book, it's easy to say, just get over it. I'm sorry. It's not that easy to just get over it because society, America is not built around black people getting over shit. It's just forgetting about it and put it to the side.
No, that's not what I mean. Is that when I made that point the first time, I was talking about from my own experience, having undergone a lot of trauma and stuff. And what I'm trying to say to you, man, is that, and I'm just taking my own experience and what I've had to do. It's not that you forget. It's not that you condone. It's not, but you got to realize that it is like that shit happened. And look at you, Damien. I think I've heard you talk. You're a success story. I mean, you're a success story. I mean, you have risen above where probably your great grandparents have been. And so
I hope so. That was
and so
I need to get in here.
Yeah, but I'll finish my point. But yeah, believe me, dude, all the points you made about the Jim Crow laws and all that stuff is, hey, man, I'm with you on that. Totally with you. And about the statues and all that stuff, I'm totally with you. It was put up to keep you down.
There's not even an anti-lynching law. There's like they voted down anti-lynching law.
Yeah.
This was last year. This wasn't 50 years ago. This was a law that's saying that if you hang a black man out of or a person of color, not just black, a person of color in a racially it's a racially motivated act, you hang a man, it is a federal and capital. You can go to jail for life. They voted it down. So I mean, it's just like it's not like this is something. Things aren't happening still today. It's just like what the fuck.
Yeah, so that's what I don't know if you noticed the first time before you were up here, Dame, if you noticed some of my facial expressions, and it's nothing against George, but it comes off really, I hate when white people do that because it comes off really insensitive when you say, tell somebody else and I'm not saying, I don't know if that's where you're coming from, but you did say kind of like it's time to get over it. And then you start, wait up. And then you start saying, look at what other people are doing, assesses as if that never came to an idea, like they can't do that on their own. We got to tell them, well, you need to look what we did, I mean, and it's not, and I hate when people say, well, slavery was 200 years ago or whatever,
150 years ago,
but they fail to look at things that continue to happen and continue to affect legacy, wealth, being able to get a home and passing that profit on to your kids, all these things. It's not like they're sitting there saying, I don't know how to get I'm going to sit here and just wait for somebody to tell me how to do it. No. And that's why I cringed when you said that. And I was making faces like, no.
Yeah.
And I don't mean it's a justification to sit on your ass and do nothing. I'm not saying that.
No,
that's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying, but I just wanted you to, but people need to recognize that
let me jump.
Successful black people, it's more difficult and there's more barriers to success than anything else.
Let me jump in here real quick. Let me just really quickly. I'm with George though. Here's the thing.
Okay.
And here's why, because Damien, to your point, well, the difference between the Caribbean people is that they wanted to come here, and black people here's the thing. My father is darker, probably as dark as Haran. You think that my father, even though he wanted to come to the States, didn't face the same discrimination, if not worse, because he didn't even speak English. So now we're talking about you're dark, you're a big old black man, you got muscles to the gills, and you don't speak Spanish, you a super nigga. You're not even a nigga, you a super nigga, because you don't even understand what I'm saying. And my father came here with nothing and said, fuck this system, fuck what they talk about. I don't know nothing about this. I'm gonna do what the fuck I got to do. And here's the thing. The last thing you said, you was like, oh, I'm not saying it, like use it as an excuse to sit on your ass. 9 times out of 10, it is used as an excuse to sit on your ass.
Yeah.
That's the that is the problem with that statement and with that plight, with that fight. So when you say, how much time time should you get over it? You should be over it right now. If you were not in shackles yourself. Now, if you were in shackles, you have the trauma of being in bondage and whipped and raped and all kinds of things. Then I can say that's going to last forever. But if you are free, if you were born free in this country, if you speak the language, you should be over it. I don't give a fuck who fucking takes this clip and spreads it to the world. If you were not born in bondage, you should be over it. And I put that on my African ancestors. You should be over it unless you yourself, sir or ma'am, were in bondage. There's way too many resources in this country. I saw my father do it from scratch, a big old black man that didn't even speak English, raising 4 children, and wasn't not one welfare system in the world gonna push that man out of our house. So I'm sorry. I agree with George. I don't see it. I don't see it.
Let me ask you a question.
Now, this is the thing. Now, let me be really, really clear. I'm with George, but I do take exception when a white man says get over it. Now, you don't get to tell us when to get over it. That's one thing. Now, what I
why not?
Say,
why not? If it's get over it, it's get over it. Who cares who says it?
No,
I don't care. I don't care who says it.
I take exception. I'm standing. I take exception. Now, what the thing is, I'm with Jen and George and all, because this is the thing. Because that wasn't instilled in me, and when my life was at shit and I had nothing. I mean, when I had said I had nothing, I realized that it was my own doing. That never once came up that I'm here in this position because the white man and I'm oppressed. And like literally that never, ever popped in my head. It popped in my head that I was the problem, right? And I was also the fucking solution. So I needed to get up off my ass. Like when I tell you, it never popped in my head, even though people would try to put it there, I was not accepting that shit. I just wasn't going to accept. I wasn't going to give white people any more power than they already took from us. My great grandmother did pick cotton, but she didn't pick cotton for me to stay in that space. That's not what she picked cotton for. That's not what she came to DC with a quarter for. She came so that I can have a better life, and I do have a better life. And then my
absolutely, I probably got one of the best lives
have a better life
in my family.
They have a better chance to have a better life.
All I'm saying is, don't dismiss the struggle. Don't dismiss it was harder for me than it was for other people.
No, wait.
Don't
There's a problem here.
There's a problem.
Yes, there's a problem here. There's a problem. This is the problem. I don't think, from me personally, I'm not asking anyone to dismiss the struggle. I'm asking you not to allow the struggle to define who you are.
Define who you are.
This is the difference.
You to get right out of my mouth.
There's a difference. You know what I mean? Now, listen for a second, Dave. Wait for a second, Dave. Dave, I felt everything you just said. You come from Oakland in the 80s. And you transform your life
from somebody from Mississippi in the 60s.
What I mean? Brother, hats off to you. Hats off to you. You also stated that you're one of the few people in your family who actually have a successful life. Now, I assume there's another story attached to that. You know what I mean? I won't get into that right now. But look, listen, my family is, the areas of Jamaica that my family comes from. My family lived in shanty towns, okay? My family is from Trench Town. My family is from Trench Town, okay? That's poor, okay? That's when I was living in Jamaica and shit, I was bathing in the river with animals. Okay, like I've seen poor. Now, when we came to this country, now I am American born, but there was a time when I was, I was over in Jamaica with my family. Now, when we came to America, and certain things are instilled in you. The object of the game is to win, and the goal is survival. One thing that my mother told me that I kept with me to my dying day is that the worst defeat is self-defeat. Because nobody really beat you but you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, if did I go through struggles? Absolutely. Did I go through a whole bunch of things? Absolutely. But for me personally, I couldn't allow those things to define who I am. I had to move forward, man.
Yeah,
I don't understand why because we all acknowledge there's redlining and racism, and there are neighborhoods that
It's still
you
shit.
can't
There's
move.
still
There's
shit.
still like, I don't know why people think when we say get up off your ass, it means that we ignore that those things are very much in place and they exist. Like
And we should fight
those,
against it.
we're not separating those two things. All those things exist, but you can still get up off your ass and do something for your own life, because people are doing it every single day. So when you don't, and you say it's because of redlining, you look like an idiot, especially in this country. When
And
you
buy a house.
don't,
If you wanna
when
buy a
you
house,
don't, my
or if
father
you
bought a house. My father bought two
hold on.
houses. My father bought buildings. My
Because
father
you know
bought a
what? I'm gonna
parking
say
lot.
something. I'm gonna say something.
There's no
In
excuse.
the
There's
U.S.
no
Census, your
excuse.
father was considered white. Asian people,
White.
Hispanic people were considered
White.
white. If you the only
Did he?
these
Did he
laws
just?
were
Did
made
he?
for
Did he?
non-black people.
Did he say? Did
Look up
you
the
hear? Did
census.
you hear what I? Did
Only
you hear
the
what my
laws
father
were
looks
made for
like?
non. It doesn't matter if he's
Did you hear what
depending
my
on the
father
country they
looked
came
like?
from. They were
Okay, do you know
considered in
my
the
father
U.S. Census
also went
as
to stop
white.
excuses. And I'll say this. How's that working for you? How's that
What do
working
you
for
mean?
you?
Yeah,
What are you
like
talking about?
All the people who refuse to get over racism and
Right,
slavery because of redlining. How's that working for
yeah,
you?
what does it do? Like,
How's
what
it
does
working
it
for
do?
you?
you
How's
You know
your
what it does?
community? How's your community?
I'll tell you
Tell me
what
how's
it
it
could
working.
do. It could, but
Mhm.
we can get into a whole discussion on what changed, what stopped the movement to like up to make that the focus, and to change the story. We could do it in influx with drugs and mass
Of
incarcerations
course,
and
of course.
the
yeah.
Absolutely.
and the
The
prison
80s
industrial
crack
Mhm.
complex.
epidemic,
If you want to get into
all
that,
that,
we can get into that.
all that.
Oh yeah.
But all I'm saying is that I just think that there's a difference between somebody when they said your express purpose on this earth was servitude and oppression. And it's going to take some time. And then your all you heard from the people that's coming from you, like my mother to this day, was like she lives she has no issues, lives in Sacramento in one of the condos that me and my wife own. She don't even pay rent. And it's just one of those things where, but to this day, when she found out I was going to marry a white woman, she would, and it was like, you need to watch out. You need to be careful. You need to do this. Because she still had in her mind that there was inherent
I'm
dangers
trying
to black
to
men.
refrain, Lily. I'm trying to refrain.
I mean, but all
I
I'm
just-
saying
yeah,
is just like, it's just, hold
puzzled.
on. Let me finish. But it's just a simple fact that it's just like I don't
Maybe I
understand how
can't with
y'all
you right now.
don't get, like, if you are going to a school, Thomas Jefferson University, that teaches you about Thomas Jefferson but doesn't teach you anything about realistically and significant about your black nature.
I asked a simple question, and here's the thing: when I went to school, junior high school, I didn't know who the fuck the white person was that they named the school after. I didn't care. They didn't teach it. I didn't give a damn.
But we
I
knew.
didn't fucking care.
Right.
I
We
didn't
knew.
care.
Fuck
All
'em.
right. Okay. But here's the thing. You didn't answer my question. For
What's your
all the
question?
my question was simply this: for all the people that are hanging on to, but there's redlining and systemic oppression. Right? We were slaves, and don't forget, this country was. How's it working for you?
Okay, so there's a whole different conversation you want to have. Like I said,
Oh.
there's all
No,
kinds of
it's a
things that
simple
went along
question.
with
It's a
it.
simple
There's all
question.
kinds of,
How's
ain't
it
working out.
working for
It
you?
ain't
I think
working
what
out so
happens.
well.
I think what
Okay,
happens
and you
is
know why
people
it's not
split
working out so
apart.
well?
Why?
You know what?
Tell me why it's not
You know
working out
why it's
well.
not working out so well? Because you're not getting over it. It's the same thing in a marriage. When one person cheats, let's just say the man cheated,
That's
right?
exactly
He
what it's called.
he cheats, right? Now the woman doesn't leave. She stays. She's free to leave. She's free to leave. She doesn't leave, she stays, and she keeps bashing him and berating him over and over and over again. You
Right,
cheated on me. You cheated on me. Now I'm a wife getting over being cheated on. You cheated on me. That man, I don't give a fuck how sorry he was them first few months, them first few years. He's going to be like, yo, get the fuck over it or get away from me. Get over
Yeah,
it or get away from me.
And
You
then-
cannot sit, okay, in some trauma or some or that you didn't experience. It is asinine. It is insanity. It is insanity. It's like I'm going to victimize myself for what my ancestors went through, even if it was in 1950. Was it you, ma'am? Was it you, sir? It is
absolutely.
asinine. It is asinine. It is defeatist. Okay. And it is self-victimization. There is no excuse. My father was not considered white. Sorry, sir.
Right. Like
I
this is
mean,
the
just
thing.
like by physical appearance, no. But if you look on the U.S. Census, if anybody came over 60, if
My
you,
father never
all
did
the
a
laws,
fucking census. Now what,
all
Dame?
I'm not talking about your dad. You always make it personal. It ain't about you. There are other Puerto Ricans who came in, but your father.
I'm not making it personal. You're making it personal. No, you're making it personal. You made it personal.
I said I used him as an example, and then I said I use it as black people as a whole.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Right, you're making it personal. You're making it no, but black people are going through this. Black people are going through this. You made it personal.
Okay.
So what do
I
you
made it
teach
as
your
black
kids?
people as a
What do
whole.
you teach your
Go ahead.
kids
What'd you
when they
say?
get
I'm sorry.
biracial?
What'd you say, Shelly?
So I'm asking. So you said you're married to a white woman. You have
I
all
am.
this to meet this testosterone.
That's a lot of privilege. That's a lot of privilege.
It's a lot of. Okay, so you threw me because I'm like, okay, so what do you teach your biracial kids? You want to be a slave. You want to remember your ancestors. But your mama over here, on the other hand, she was free. She could run. I'm confused when it comes to that because I'm biracial too. So I'm trying to figure out how was it? How do you say that? Because it's like one hand is not with the other one at the same time. To me.
Well, this is what if you want to know what I teach my children, my teachers when things go like this it's Black History Month. And I asked them, what did you learn today? And then at this school, like we learn X, Y, Z. And then I try to expound upon this. Say, oh, we learned about my thing. I was like, who else did you know? I make it a point to expose my children to other black people other than fucking Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, or whoever. I'm gonna know black inventors, black educators, black stuff. My kids are getting a black experience regardless. They still got my mom, who's their grandmother, who tells them what it is. Mississippi. When we go see her, she cooks them Southern food. They got about 70 all black cousins that live in the South and stuff like that. We got cousins here in San Antonio, so there is access to our history and our culture and stuff like that.
What you tell your kids? Okay, so he said get over it, and I don't think he meant it the way you took it, but I'm just saying, like, do you tell your kids? We're not going to get over that we was slaves at some point in our lives. We're not going to get it, but they're not slaves. So why should they? Should they be taught that if that's not what's going? They're not. It's not.
You got. I'm living in Texas. All right. So there was this big hubbub about CRT, critical race theory. So, and all these people were like, "Don't teach it. Don't teach it. It's going to make white people feel bad that this country had a foundation built. The whole economic foundation of the United States was built on slavery." So don't teach them that. Don't teach them that. I'll say, you know what? My daughter will be like, she's 12. She's like, what is CRT? I was like, critical race theory is a theory that, like what I just said, the economic foundation of the United States was held up and propped up by slavery. If it wasn't for slavery, United States as an experiment would have probably failed. So, and it was like, well, why are people against it? I was like, because you know why? I was like, there are white people out there who only want to hear about American exceptionalism. They don't want to face the fact that there is an ugly truth about the past. And then I was like, well, why not? It was like, because like I tell her, I was like, they only want to see the good things about America. They don't want to know the other thing. And then I focus on Germany. Germany has courses about Nazis, about Hitler. They want people to know the dirt that went down so it never fucking repeats itself. America is different. They want to hide those things, say get over it, don't acknowledge it, so we can. But then it's always underlined to it. So it gives people justification to continue to think like that and continue to do things behind the scenes that may fuck you over or what have you. Like I gave that point of the last time. Like I forgot this. It was a high school where a black girl won valedictorian. And went in there. They went in, some white families went in there. They went and complained and everything. And then they made up some bullshit law about, oh, I'm sorry, because this, and this, you don't get it. You got to split it with this white boy. So that's the things that still go on today. My daughter, I guarantee you, as light as she is, my daughter is as light as you are, Shelly, or maybe even a little bit lighter. If she wins prom queen, there are going to be nigger written all over her, or her things are going to be all kinds of shit thrown her fucking way, and she needs to know the history behind that shit. And
Can I say something? Let me jump in here.
I'm
Let
gonna
me
say
jump
she
in
can
here.
use
I
it
want to
as
say,
an engine to propel herself forward, but she needs to know that there's a history and behind that that's rooted in ugly, and it's accepted in this country.
okay, wait a minute. Ray Ray, hi Ray Ray. It is on the block with Jen. I don't know why people keep saying Jen on the block. We're all here together. We're
Because
all
they're
on the
thinking
block.
of Jennifer Lopez.
No, it's
Yeah.
Jenny from the
on the
block.
We
block
don't
with
know
Jen.
her.
Hello, I don't know her. I'm like Mariah. I don't know
Yeah,
her.
I'm like Mariah. I don't know
Thank
her.
you for the super chat, Fahim Jackson. Fahim Jackson says, I think, yeah, super chat me. Okay. Fahim Jackson says, I think what Dame is missing is that freed slaves incorporated towns, started trade schools, and went on to lead universities, which carried over into Jim Crow. We broke more barriers with no rights. I do want
Thank
to
you.
ask you
Absolutely.
something. I do want to ask you something, Damien.
Yeah.
You cringe at the get over it, right? Because it is and I understand, because sometimes when something has happened to you and someone tells you get over it, it's a trigger. It's like, what the fuck, wait a minute, this happened to me. I don't think that so much applies in this America, in our America. And I also think that, I don't know, maybe I'm an anomaly, or I mean, a couple of people on the panel agreed with me. I don't give a fuck what white people think. I don't even give a fuck about what they do
Well,
behind
you
the
got to if you're
scenes. I
moving in
don't.
America.
But
You
here's
got
the.
to.
But let me
You're living in
finish.
America, so if you
Let me
don't,
finish. No, I don't. No, I don't, and I don't have
I
to.
never gave a
I
fuck
don't
about
have to.
I know.
That's the thing. I don't have to. I get
well,
up
more about
every
what they do,
morning.
not what they think.
Okay, let me finish.
Sorry.
Here's the thing. I get up every morning and do everything that motherfucking white people do. And no one stops me. I'm not in bondage. I'm not in shackles. If I want to get a house, I'm going to get me a fucking house. If I want that job and I qualify, I'm going to get me that fucking job. I'm going to date who I want. I'm going to go where the fuck I want. I'm going to spend my money where I want every fucking day, just like white people. So I don't have to. I don't have to worry about the white boogeyman in the closet or under the bed. That's not me. That will never be me. I wasn't raised like that. I don't give a fuck what
The
white people
only
do.
Okay.
person that's ever
Respectfully.
put
Good.
a
So
You
let
don't.
me
You don't
say
have to
this.
be aware.
So let me
You don't have to
me
be
say
aware.
this.
I got
Let me
it.
say this. Let me say this. Nor do you. And let me tell you why you got over
I get.
you. Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me tell you, you got over slavery and racism. You know how? Because your wife is white.
white.
So you got over it too. And let me finish my point. Way back, maybe 50, 67 years ago, you would have got lynched for it. But you got so over slavery that you said, I'm going to get with a white woman. I'm going to give her some babies. So you definitely got over slavery. So I don't know if this is overcompensation. I don't know if you got to be super black because you got a white wife. I don't know what the fuck it is, but you got over it as well because you did something that I wouldn't even do. Get with a white person. So what are we talking about here? Why do I have to worry about why do I have to worry about white people? Because I live in America. They don't shake me. They don't move me. Respectfully, the crackers on the planet. I don't give a fuck. They don't move me. They can't stop me from doing shit.
All I'm saying is.
And I'll finish with this point and I'll pass the mic.
Okay.
It is damaging, as religion is, okay, to continuously birth children and tell them how much they were a have-not of society, how much they were less than white people. It is damaging. It is damaging to the psyche. And let me tell you something. As far as your light-skinned daughter not being light enough to be prom queen and they're going to call her nigger, guess what? They did that to a Latin girl who won prom queen in a HBCU. Guess what? All of us have the ability to be fucking racist, bastards, prejudiced, and biased. Not just white people. Not just white people. Because the people that came after me once upon a time were black. The people that went after that prom queen in the HBCU were black. So it goes to show, okay, and they were telling her all kinds of things. Delete yourself. You're this, you're that. Okay, so we can, in America, you better watch your ass and your six for everybody around you. Because everybody is capable of being a devil, not just white people. White people are the least of it. And let me tell you something. If I was white, I would just sit back and watch us kill each other because we do a great job.
There you go, Jen. Thank you.
Yes.
We do a great job.
Let me respond to that. Let me respond to that. There's a difference between saying shit that hurts your feelings and creating systemic policies that treat you from living your fucking best life and proceeding forward. There's a difference between those things. I can say I don't like X, Y, and Z, but I don't have any power to create any type of situations that can prevent them from that. If that black girl who had to share her valedictorian didn't have power, the person who had power was the white person who said, I'm going to take this away from you because I have my racism has power. Your racism just hurts somebody's feelings.
Well, now you're mad at power. Now you're mad at power because I know black people. Now you're mad at power because I know black people that are 10 times more powerful than the two white men on the panel right now. So now you're mad at power.
Absolutely.
All right then. So she didn't have the power. And here's the thing: anybody who has power fucking wields it. whether they black, white, yellow, or purple. Anyone in this country who has power wields it. So don't make it a white thing. Don't make it a white thing.
No, I'm saying. So you're saying black people wield their power to
Absolutely.
Hold on.
Who did Dr. Dre give his millions to?
Let him finish.
My bad.
Let him finish. Let the man finish.
Yeah, I just want to say. So you're saying black people wield their power to lessen to minimize the lives of other races,
Other black people.
Other black people.
No, I'm talking about other races.
Thank you.
Other black people. They don't go to other races. They stick and start.
Well,
you said racist. You can't be racist against your own people. I'm racist against somebody other.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
I mean,
wait. Listen.
You gotta learn today, Damien. You gotta learn today.
What we're saying here is what he's saying. Understand what he's saying and what we're also saying. Racism, the concept of institutionalized racism, we could put that in the pocket of saying, but there's one concept. There's discrimination, there's prejudice, or we can say exclusivity. You know what I mean? To some degree. Now, if you have power, if you have the money, if you have the resources, and you are of a particular tribe, of a particular race, and you control everything, yes, you can be racist because you have full autonomy over the concept of institutionalized racism. Now, this is not to say that black people cannot be prejudiced or discriminatory against other races. They just do not have the economic clout to enforce their will, to enforce their ideas, and to enforce
they can hurt somebody's feelings
on other people. That's about it.
They can hurt somebody's feelings.
No. People have been fired and arrested over black tears. Let's not act stupid.
No. Okay? Don't get me wrong. Hold on.
So don't say, oh, black people can only hurt feelings. That's all they can do is hurt feelings.
Hold on. Oh, don't get me wrong. There are black people who make everything about it being black. I watch things where I'm like, that's just an asshole. That's not a racist. I watch these clips when they're like racist Karen and racist that. I'm like, well, no, she's just being an asshole. She's not being racist. You know, they use that racism sells t-shirts.
I don't know.
It's just like it's like
isn't it? If they get fired, if Karen gets fired, is that not them wielding their power?
Well, there's a difference.
Is that not them using black tears?
There's a difference between a one-off where one person does this.
It's not a one-off. It's not a one-off. You're so naive. I think you're
biggest pet peeve in conversation is interrupted. That is the lowest form of conversation. Is
you interrupt all the time. What are you talking about? You interrupt all the time.
I'm guilty of it too.
Okay, good.
Can I jump in just real quick?
So you're also
yes, I am guilty of it too.
Okay, great. What were you saying, George?
Okay, just two things. Just as an anecdote, when I had a weight problem, like I told you all as a kid. I went to a 6th grade center and it was all black. And guess what? I got beat up for two things. One, I was a fat kid, and two, because I was white. And they told me that as they were kicking my ass.
So,
and I've seen it. I grew up in Oakland. I've seen white dudes get beat up just for the simple fact that they're in the hood and they're white. Yeah, I've seen that. And I don't.
Everyone uses their power.
But everyone does. But there's a difference between punching somebody in the face and making it to where they can't buy a fucking house. There's a difference.
There's a difference because that's the only.
But what stops somebody from getting a house?
I don't know.
That's your height of power. Only punching somebody in
the house. Your credit score could be terrible.
Have you hold a second? Have you heard? And I've known we all seen this, and we've seen it, and it hasn't been. It's not anecdotal. It's happened multiple times. I've seen multiple different videos where somebody has went to get their house appraised by somebody, and they say your house worth $500,000, and then they go and remove everything that shows they're black. Oh, now your house is worth $750,000. Yeah. That shit happens.
Why are you acting like no? Why are you acting like we don't know that happens? Why are
But
you
I'm just saying, so-
acting like we don't know that happens? What you're missing is that we don't give a fuck. We still gonna get ours. And what you want us to be is victims of the white oppression. That is not going to happen.
I never said that, 'cause
So
I'm
then
not a
why are you
victim.
saying, why do you keep saying, why are you acting like it doesn't happen? We acknowledge 10 fucking times over. It exists. Do you want me to wear a t-shirt that says racism exists? It exists. What we're saying is there's no benefit in victimizing yourself. There's no benefit. Racism is broad. Black people are racist. Latin people are racist. Black people are racist against their own fucking people. Black people are racist against black people that are darker than them, that are lighter than them. Where the fuck you been? Where you been?
Racism is that's prejudice. It's not racism. Racism is.
I don't care what you call it. I don't care what you call it. I don't care. Tomato. It is the same thing. It is power. I don't care if you call it racism or colorism. It is power. It is light-skinned girls, okay, as your daughter who would get preferred over a dark-skinned girl in her school. What the fuck are you talking about? Your own daughter has privilege. Your own daughter has privilege. You have privilege.
And she might. She absolutely. I'm sure she does.
She might. She does.
And then I said, I'm sure she does.
But then you want
and
to
she has pretty, and she has pretty because she's pretty.
Okay, so let me. So
all kinds of privilege.
then here's the thing. Here's the thing. So when the dark-skinned girls go after your daughter because she has pretty light-skinned privilege, then what are you going to say then?
That they're not prejudiced or they just don't like your daughter?
I'm going to say, hold up. I'm going to, that's not, yes.
Answer that question.
I will say they beat you up because they were jealous because they found you, they thought you were prettier than them. That's what I'll say. Just like that. They, in their mind, you are prettier. They were jealous and they beat you up. That's the same way that somebody, if I'm walking around in a nice suit and somebody want to jack me.
Why is she, Damien? Why is she prettier? Maybe your daughters just stink. Why was she prettier? Because she's light.
She could. No, because I'm saying
if
somebody beats you up, well, if they beat her because she thinks, then she did something. If then she's offended them and somehow and she's done something.
Well, I don't know. Your go-to,
but
here's the thing. But your go-to was, well, they were jealous and you're prettier. Why is she prettier?
I'm saying if she was just walking down the street and somebody jumped on her and what happened, and she never met her.
He did say think. He said they think.
There goes that goalpost.
That's kind of coming from them and not from her. They think she's prettier.
There's different.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying, if you just said if somebody walk around and jump on her because they don't know it.
I said if dark-skinned girls go after your daughter, because you're saying that it's just prejudice. It's not racism.
Okay.
And to me, it's tomato. It's people not liking you. It's people not like, it's not vague. Let's not play dumb.
If my daughter goes up to a dark skin,
you got light skin privilege. Your children have mixed privilege. Let's cut the shit. Let's cut the shit.
I recognize
your wife has privilege. Your wife has privilege. Okay, let's cut the shit, Damien.
But the thing is, I don't have to. I don't make it about me.
But here's the thing. You have the privilege of. You have the privilege. You have the privilege of. If you want a loan, you could send your wife in there. You got privilege.
I'm getting a loan because I got good credit and I make good money. I don't have to do that.
We got here. We're here. We took the long way. We took the long way, but we're here.
No.
We took the long way. We took the long way.
Hold up.
We took the long way, but we're here. Welcome, Damien.
But I'm just saying, the shit that I had to jump through, the motherfucking shit I had to pull off to get where I am, I don't think it's the same story if it's a white guy coming and saying
that's bullshit. That's bullshit.
You marry a black woman.
Okay, you want to because it was a white woman who came to me at the party and told me that I was good looking.
And there was no black woman that thought you were good looking.
All this animosity
I wasn't rich enough for the black girls at that party.
You know what? I gotta stick to my sisters because you know what?
My first wife was black,
and we was this and we was that.
The first wife is always black.
Rich enough. You weren't rich enough for the black women.
I don't think he has animosity towards white people.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if I was your wife listening to this podcast, I'd be angry.
Why?
Listen, you can be angry at things that are going on and not hate white people.
Right. It's not every white person.
Everybody knows my story. How my wife. I was at a party that was 60% black.
But that's bullshit. It doesn't matter. You know what? I worked around white men my entire life and they all wanted to fucking marry. Now what? And I denied them all. because I'm sticking true and blue to what the fuck I say, right? I wasn't gonna
Not
get
Puerto
with a
Ricans,
white
though.
man.
You don't
I'm
fuck with
not
Puerto
gonna
Ricans
get.
for
I'm
black
gonna get.
dudes,
I'm gonna
right?
get with. Yeah, but I wouldn't get with a white man. And then,
So you
oh
prejudiced
hell,
against
Puerto
Rican dudes,
Rico.
right?
Oh hell, Puerto Rico.
Yeah, you can't. It doesn't make sense.
It's cap. It's cap.
Why don't
It's
make sense?
cap.
Wait, I
So
don't
let
But
me
I'll
understand
say
that.
this. But I'll say this. I'll say this. I
let
will
me-
say that this is not rare. And respectfully, a lot of black men that marry white women, they overcompensate about
I was
blackness,
a
and they
black man
have to
before I
preach,
was a black
and they
man
have
married
to,
to a white woman.
and they have to overcompensate and talk about how bad, because they feel it's like guilt. It's like
I
I don't
was
know,
a black
marrying
man for
white guilt.
33 years.
Yeah,
I was a black
And there
man
was
man.
no
for
black woman that excited you. And you went to one party.
His first wife. The first wife is
my
always
first
black.
wife.
The
The
starter
first wife
wife.
is always black. The
starter
starter wife is always black.
But she didn't get,
You know what I'm
she didn't
saying?
get the pass. She didn't get the pass.
She
wasn't
would have
getting pretty babies.
no. And I told you, I said the way it was. I went to a party. I sat down on the couch.
We
and
know
I-
the
and there were
story, and
attractive women there,
the white
and she
girl
came and sat
floated
down there.
in. The white girl floated in, and all the black women disappeared.
Right. I'm
Yeah.
here.
She
So all I'm
floated.
saying is just
All
like
the
The sea of black women. The sea of black women part, and the white woman floated in and
I have
said,
a
"Yeah."
question.
Hey,
I
hey,
don't
that's
Damien,
exactly what
let me
happened.
ask
That's
Damien
exactly
a
what
real quick
happened.
question.
But
She
you
was
still
that
have
bad.
these same feelings about slavery and being in bondage and
But that doesn't change the fact that what I
so what
think,
if your
because who
wife
I'm
Nah,
marrying
it's
doesn't
a-
change who I
what if your
think.
wife
I've
said
seen
to
it
you,
before.
Damien?
I've seen it
What if
before.
your
It would
wife
be
said, get over it. Just get
People
over it.
do what they believe. They say some other shit, but people
So
do what
I
they
Oh
believe.
my
I really
God.
I mean, he could
want to ask.
still look at. I
heard
look at
Jen
it like
say
this.
something. I heard Jen.
Put it this way. He could
I
still,
don't
you know what I
I don't
mean,
have my
speak from his perspective as a black man, so on and so forth. And yes, marry a white woman. Now, whether or not you feel that diminishes his argument or diminishes his perspective, that's on
that's
you. Me
that's what happens
personally,
all the time. That's what happens all the time. They forget
me
that I had a
personally,
whole lot of black before I married. No, my
me
wife black. I
personally,
was
I
a whole lot
wouldn't
of black.
marry. Me personally, I wouldn't marry a white person. I've slept with a white woman. But that's me personally. You know what I mean? Now, if he has a particular perspective and he's making great points, from my perspective, no, it doesn't have anything.
But no, my wife is
to,
white, so it don't matter. I can't be black. My wife, it don't matter. My wife's white, so it don't matter. It doesn't. Everything I said
Well,
is
that's what I want to ask.
moot because
Damien,
my wife's
said
white.
something I want to ask. She said, she said in so many words that she had a lot of white guys come after her, and she didn't go up. She didn't date the white guys
All the time.
because
Still, to this day.
And I think it has
People
more to
do
do
what
with
they
Because of
believe. They
history
say
of
outside.
slavery.
Hold on.
Get over
But
it.
but she said because she something about being pro Puerto Rican, right? How would she look being pro? And I just don't think those two. You don't.
Yeah, Jen.
I don't know. I don't know why. I just feel because I know. Say with Erica, she's pro Colombian. It has nothing to do with who she married. I don't think.
But I call bullshit on that. I call bullshit on that. It's one thing to be a neutral person, right? If you are a neutral, listen, if you're a kumbaya and you love the world and you don't see color, you can go on ahead, get with anybody. Then I believe you are who you are. But if you are black and marry white and bring half white children in the world and then get on a panel and cry about oppression and slavery and how the white man doing us, I call cap. I say you're full of shit, because if you were so hell-bent on your people, it's very easy, even at that party, even at that party where I'm sure there were a lot of black women, you would have been like, nah, I don't do you, honey. You cute, but I can't do this because I'm pro-black and the white man is after us. But here's the thing. But here's the thing, and I've seen. But here's the thing, and I've seen. And here's the thing, and here's the thing. That's bullshit. Because there are men that are pro-black.
They just do it under the cover.
Go talk to a lot of the cats in the Nation of Islam. They don't play that sometimey shit. Okay, some do, but some don't. Okay, so there are black men that will not fuck with white women. Let's not play that game. Thank you.
When it comes to black women, black women dealing with black men, it seems like a big win for black women. It's always sold as a big win for black women whenever they go white or Asian or fucking Kryptonian or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? It's always seen
in
pro-blackness.
Let them come up with that pro-black shit. You know that's gonna go out the window now. People will question.
All I'm saying is I was a black man for 33 years before I met my wife. And I had to deal with all this stuff. And to this day, I have a very nice car. I have been pulled over by white cops in fucking Texas.
But it didn't
probably
bother you
because I was
that
a black
much.
man
And then
and what's going on.
you were a black man, and thank goodness that slavery is over, so you could sleep with that white woman and not get lynched.
In
So
some
you should
towns.
be one of the people.
In
some
You
towns.
should be one of the people.
Exactly. So
You
in some
you
towns.
are an example. You are an example of get over it.
West
You are a
Texas.
walking. You are a walking. You got over it. You
No.
are an example of got over it. Because you got
West
over what white
Texas,
people
I don't
did so
know.
much. What you got over what white people did so much that you took one to bed and put a ring on it. That's how much you got over it.
And
So I don't know what
passed
you
it
up here.
around.
I don't know what you up here
And
talking
brought
about.
kids in the world.
We can't get
But
over
the
it.
thing
You
is-
got over it.
So let
You
me get
got
this
over
straight.
it.
Let me get this straight. So let me get this straight. I can't. My experience is not the black experience. Your experience is the Puerto Rican experience. You say that all the time. So what I do is not indicative of what all black people are going through and black men are going through. So let me get this straight. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I know for 33 years I was black and had to deal with cops and pulled over and this and that and the other and all the bullshit I had to deal with because I was a black man. But I got my white lady papers, so I need to just, my freedom papers. So I need to just let it go and just be like, oh, sorry, my wife's white. So, all that shit that went over my experience, history, and experience of my family.
No, you're
But
doing
it doesn't
the
sound
right
like
thing.
it's
You're
wrong.
overcompensating now. You did the right thing.
I did the same shit
No.
33 years ago.
Lie.
The shit. Two things I
Lie.
did. Two things I did in my 20s. I fucked bitches and I argued about race. There were two things I consistently did in my 20s.
And then you threw it all away and got in bed with one.
But to
It's
me,
right, exactly.
All my credibility
Hey,
went out.
yes, yes.
We're quoting
To
people
you.
from a cult that believe that
I think you
Yakuza
should
being
leave
a
the
white
race
man.
out
We're
of
saying
it.
that's
Right, leave the. That's what I'm. Thank you, Shelly. That's what I'm saying. You sound. I don't care what. I don't care if
You
it was
sound
Asian.
crazy.
Right. I don't care if it was Asian, black, white, purple. You sound stupid, and no one takes you seriously. And you don't like that fact, so you
Hold on a
overcompensate.
second.
You
Hold on a second.
overcompensate. I wouldn't take you seriously. I
I
wouldn't
agree.
trust you in a race war.
I mean,
I wouldn't trust you in a
well,
race war because you know why? Because your sensibilities,
But
your
then you come to me for money.
Your concern is white.
Revolutions cost
Your
money, and then
concern
they
is
come into the black
white.
dudes with money
No,
to pay for it.
but I wouldn't trust. I'm talking about when it's
They're like,
down to.
"Brother, can you
I'm
donate
talking.
to
I'm
the
talking
cause?"
about
I'm like, "Let me
when
write
it's
that
down
check
to
for you."
mano. I'm talking about when it's down to mano y mano. You're gonna be worried about your white kids and your white wife. I'm talking about
Hold on a
war.
second.
I'm talking about blood. I'm not
Just
talking about
like
funding.
I
I'm not
said
talking about
in the chat.
funding a
Just like I
program.
said in the
I'm not
chat.
talking about funding a
If I'm
program
with
because you would
CBS
save a
if
white
I'm with
woman before you
CBS and I
save
hear
one
the
of
word-
us.
if
You
I
would
said,
save
if
a
I'm with
white
CBS
woman. You
if-
would save a white woman before you save one of
His
us.
wife?
if
You
I
would
am
save
in
a white
CBS
woman. Thank you.
and I hear the
Yes, his
if I was
wife,
in
a white
CBS
woman.
and I
He
said
seems
Right,
if
a
I was in
white
CBS and I
woman.
heard somebody that
Someone who's
wasn't black
married to a black
say
woman. That's who
black
wouldn't.
bitch,
Yeah, okay.
That's who
but
wouldn't
he
know,
fell in love
Saint.
with someone. He didn't sit there and
That's
say,
what
this is a
he
white
didn't fall in
woman.
love with her. He was attracted to her because she was white. There were
He
black
fell
women
in
at
love
that
with
party.
her. He
There were
married
black
her,
women
and
at that
he said
party.
there was black
Knock it
women.
off.
Yeah, but
Knock it
it
off.
didn't
Knock
happen.
it
No,
off.
he fell in love with a
Knock
woman.
it off. When we look at
Because
people,
Vegas
we
was
see
a
their
higher
listen.
law,
When we
but he
look
doesn't
at
sit there
people,
and judge.
now we're gonna play dumb. Now we're gonna play dumb. No, Saint.
No,
Are we
I'm not
really
playing
gonna
dumb.
play dumb? All right. When you see somebody initially, what are you looking at?
Yeah,
Unless
you're
you were
attracted
Stevie
to it. It's
Wonder.
attraction.
Unless you're Stevie
Nigga,
Wonder,
ass.
he
Ass.
saw from a mile
see him.
away. Ass my ass. Black women got asses
She
everywhere.
came up to
Oh,
him though.
yeah.
Black women
That
have
ass-
asses everywhere.
that ass came up
That
to you.
ass though, on a white woman. It was on a white woman, and you wanted to be with a white woman, and you did it. Congratulations! But don't sit up here and try to be Malcolm
Hold on a
X
second.
now,
Hold
because
on,
you
hold on,
sound
I'm
dumb.
asking you a question. I'm asking you a question.
You sound
I'm asking you a
dumb.
question.
It's
I'm
not
asking
the
you a
white
question. I'm
woman
asking you a
that's the
question.
problem. It's the
I'm asking you a question. Hold on.
That's it. Listen to what Lily just said. Listen to what Lily just said.
You know,
What'd you say, Lily?
it's not the white woman that's the problem. It's the
Right.
Malcolm X mixed with the white woman that throws people off our minds. That shit doesn't fit. It doesn't.
I am in no way
compute.
Malcolm X.
Yeah,
This
who
is
do
the
you
thing.
no
This is
way
the
Malcolm
thing. This is
X.
the thing.
It
This
don't
is
make
the thing.
sense.
People,
Malcolm X.
this is the thing. People do what they believe, and they say a bunch of other shit. Okay, that's the thing. I don't go by what people say. I go by actions, right? So yes, for 33 years you did this, but you're like, oh shit. Well, hold up now, and that's what it looked like.
I never stopped. And
that's cool, but understand it's going to be scrutinized. That's the thing. It's going.
We
to
do
be
have a new guest. We do have a new guest.
New guest.
Hello.
And I'm
It
wondering
looked
how y'all
like a
doing.
joke. I mean, in
All
other
right,
words, it's a joke.
what's your name?
Jonathan.
Hi, Jonathan. Welcome to the panel on this crazy night.
And I do want to
I
say
know,
this,
right? We're so
and this
off
ain't
the
no
topic.
and this ain't no disrespect to main man with the polo hat. What's your name?
Damien.
Damien,
This ain't no
let me
disrespect
take down
to
the thing because I'm like, we're not even
It
talking
can be
about the fucking
disrespect.
topic.
It just like once I get off, I don't hold on to
There's
it.
no disrespect though. But
Okay.
what I've
Become a
learned through
disrespect.
the years, is that it's always the light skinned brothers that are the most pro black.
But didn't we say that before?
Malcolm X.
Didn't we say that before?
Huey P. Newton. I think it's like a like to
overcompensation.
make themselves feel
that
stronger and better about
I said that.
themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because like when you black, you black. You just black. You ain't gotta go out of your way.
It got nothing to do with the calluses, the marks on my mom's finger from having to pick cotton because that's all that she could do as a child to make money for her family.
Right, but you're not alone. But you're not alone because my
that's what I'm saying. But it ain't got to do with that.
My people's.
I'm saying, but no, but I'm just saying, I'm not alone. So there's other people that can feel it. So it could have nothing to do with that. It could have nothing to do with that. It's all because I'm a light skinned dude.
No, we're just saying it's just we just noticed that that's
facetious though.
Seems to be the case.
I'm just asking. Could it be the experience of my family and experience of myself that could have?
What is your experience? What is your experience though?
I grew up in Oakland. From parents that were from Mississippi.
Okay.
In the 60s, I grew up in Oakland in the 80s, and from parents from Mississippi in the 60s.
Okay, Oakland in the 80s. That's where crack came from. Oakland.
Yep.
That's black on black.
No, but who injected the crack into the community? Come on now.
Your wife's uncles and cousins and daddies. Your wife's uncles and cousins and daddies.
But crack made a lot of money. Okay, so listen, hold on, but wait, because we from the hood. I'm from DC. You from Oakland. We not sitting around looking at the white man when crack was all in the hood. If anything, white people was getting sold crack too. I sold crack to white people.
It didn't decimate their community like it did black people. Come on.
But in the hood, you from Oakland in the hood, white people are not like, hi,
they came to the hood to buy
man, I'm supplying crack. They're buying it. They're in line to buy it. I'm just saying, like, the origin, sure. Hold on. The origins, sure. But after you find out the origins thereof, now you're responsible to do what you have to do, which is not sell crack. Now you have to blame Leroy and Ray and Earl and Boosie and all them homies. You got to blame them. Listen, because we know that it's lucrative. You're getting a lot of money from it. You're getting the ladies because that's what come with the money. And you got to now tell them, listen, this is what y'all are doing, and this is destroying the community. Woo, woo, woo. Like,
y'all think this is the first time
you don't go to that invisible white man that you can't see and blame him.
The invisible one? The invisible one?
He's not in the hood. He's not there.
Yeah.
You have to talk about who's there. You
cannot.
You might need to get a little counseling on this one, honey, because this one don't make sense.
What are you talking about? It
doesn't add up. It
doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. It's like
it doesn't add up to y'all. And the funny thing is, I've heard this song before. This ain't new. I've seen this movie. I've heard this song. I've seen it. I've heard it before. But it's not gonna stop me from saying what I feel.
I know, but you keep seeing and hearing this movie, but you keep coming in with this.
Not offended.
I know, but you keep
offended when a white person says to get over it.
I know, but you keep saying the same thing too. You keep using the same approach.
My wife wouldn't say get over it. And that's another thing. It's like,
let's say hypothetically, your wife said just get over it.
I'm not going to make hypothetically. Shelly, respectfully, that's a dumb hypothetical. I mean, I wouldn't marry somebody who would be that oblivious and be that dumb, who'd be like, just get over it.
If you listen to you on this panel, you wouldn't have married a whole white woman, period.
What does that have to do with anything?
What did you say, Shelly?
He said, if I listen to this panel, I want to marry a white woman, period.
And what you're saying and what you're preaching on this panel is all this black, white stuff. you would have never married a white woman. That would have not even crossed your path. It would have been like, no,
because your belief and your actions are not matching up.
Okay,
it don't line up.
You don't know what my actions are. One action doesn't determine what actions are made. What other actions?
That was a big action. That was a big action. That was a big action.
But as a black man, you have the right to be attracted to all races.
Right.
Not saying that I'm
absolutely, and I am.
So what is your reason? What is your reason? Only because she said, "Hey, what's up? I want you." Yes,
because she had a fat ass. That's why he put a ring on her finger, because she had a fat ass. That's what he said, right, Damien?
And passed down.
That is not why. That is not why.
He probably genuinely loves the woman. You know what I mean?
She's an amazing person.
I would hope to God so.
She's one of the best people I've ever met in my life.
You better stop talking about her people, because she'll get angry after a while, because she is a whole white woman and there's a whole lot of white people out there that you don't like.
Hey, Damien.
I do want to say, I do want to point something out, though.
I didn't say I don't like white people. Who said that? I never said
I do want to.
I never said anything like that. I'm just saying.
Point something. I do want to point something out really quickly for whoever's hit that like and subscribe if you're here. I see y'all all came running in to see what the argument and beef was. Okay, I see a lot of you and the super chat. I see a lot of people ran in because y'all heard us yelling. Okay, y'all are here, so hit the like and subscribe. The numbers just double, because that's how it is on YouTube. People hear people yelling, they come running and they put a cup to the wall. You're here. Hit that like and subscribe. I do want to point something out that Damien said in the melee of this conversation. He did make a point where he said, well, yeah, I had to work hard and I had to get my credit white and blah, blah, blah. That's what white people have to do too. White people don't just walk in with blonde hair and blue eyes and say, I need a house, and they throw them a house. They have to have credit too.
Yeah. Y'all didn't hear what she just said? I had to get my credit white. Maybe that's just... Did I hear that? I don't know if she heard. I don't know if she said that purposely or if...
Get your credit white.
Yeah, I'm like, get my credit white, baby.
I will continue to not be a fan of people. I'm sorry, the people especially people who aren't black saying get over it. I'm just not gonna be a fan of that.
But you are a fan because you got over it. You are a fan because you're the spokesperson. You're the poster child because you got over it. You got over it. That's why you married a white woman.
Shame.
You got over it. So you're an example. You're an example for other black men. You're an example for other black men of how to get over it. Get you a white woman and go off and have little white babies and go on and move forward.
My babies aren't white. My babies are darker than you. My babies are not white.
Your kids, I doubt they're darker than me. I doubt it. I doubt it.
Race.
Exactly.
Well, my son is pretty damn white.
Your children are going to have privilege because they are mixed with the Caucasian. Okay, they're going to have more privilege than other black people that you're fighting for.
From black people and white people.
Okay.
White people, black people gonna be like, you're not light enough, and you go.
Well, you did that to yourself. You did that to yourself. Boo-hoo. You did that to yourself. You could have had brown babies.
I'm not complaining about it. I'm not complaining.
You could have had brown babies.
Like, oh my god.
Does your wife have to hear you talk about white people?
My wife knows exactly my point, and the difference is, I think she's not one of those. I don't see color as people.
Right.
She's not that. That's not. I wouldn't have married somebody who was like, I don't see color. Everybody's the same. It's a rainbow and blah blah blah. My wife is like, you are a black man. I know. I worry when you leave the door because you are looked at differently, and there's more inherent danger for you. I have to teach my children as white as they are.
Hold on. Why do you have to worry?
I can't. I'm leaving. The white woman is afraid for the black man. I'm leaving. I'm done.
She's afraid.
Did she have the talk with you when you get pulled over?
Where you live?
Did she have the talk with you when you get pulled over, Damien?
What city do you live in?
I live in San Antonio, Texas.
San Antonio. Okay.
Oh God. Okay.
You might.
You saw. You get it now, huh?
You might experience some racism. I'm just saying. Racism does exist.
No. Because the thing is, it's the conversations I've had with her that has educated her on what it goes on. But I mean, like I said, I get it.
All right.
Y'all stay race loyal, do what you want to do, whatever. I'm loyal to integrity and good people and somebody who is all about Dame. If black, white, or whatever, if you about Dame, I rocks with you.
No, not if you black, white, or whatever. If you're white, she's white. It's okay. I mean, it's fine. It's fine.
Like I said, more than okay.
The only thing that, again, that let's just summarize it, is just that you really go into this how, black people are still oppressed by the white people specifically. I never
said oppressed.
Okay, so what are they? What are black people suffering from today?
Also, basically what I'm saying is like, people need to recognize that there's still stigmas that have not been eliminated. There's still laws on the books. There's still experiences.
Okay, so that doesn't fall under oppression?
Let me finish.
Because you're going to be long-winded and it's past 2 hours.
No.
Just be concise.
That's going to be, I am. When you're interrupting, I got to start all over again, because then I got to jump into the other, recognize what you said. Okay. But all I'm saying is like, there are experiences and systems in place that can prevent black people from having an easier as time as they possibly can. What's the word I'm looking for? Elevating themselves.
Okay, let me jump in. Who's doing that? Who's doing that? Who's doing it?
White people.
Okay, thank you. But we went the long way to get here. So you don't like the word oppression. So we'll use laws and systems in place, because you don't like oppression. So let's use laws and systems in place. That's what you said. So white people are doing that. So again, let's say barriers. Let's say he doesn't like oppression. Let's use barriers. Let's use I don't know, speed bumps, right? Okay, so speed bumps that white people put down. So what we're saying is that it just looks hypocritical. That's all we're saying. I don't give a damn who you married. I don't care if she was Asian, whatever. I don't care. Even if she was Latin, I would
be saying white woman, I need to just shut up and just enjoy my
it's not.
No. Live in my big house and say nothing.
No, but that's what you're doing. Man.
The thing is, you know what? I do understand it comes with scrutiny. Yeah. I have been scrutinized for the last 15 years. I understand it. And
it's no different than a vegan saying, it's this. No, you do care. You care very much. You care. Let's keep it 100. This is the block.
Hold on. You care that I'm getting scrutinized?
You do care.
I'm care when so you said I care when I'm being scrutinized. If I did care, I wouldn't be talking about it. I wouldn't be engaging, and I wouldn't be coming back if I cared. What? I'd be all in my feelings like, I don't fuck this. I'd be rage.
No, I'm saying you care though. You care.
You care.
It's
I don't care about
what I'm saying is it's like a vegan eating a fucking cheeseburger. I've used that analogy before. You would look at a vegan and be like, bitch, you said you was a vegan. It's like me being an atheist, but I'm in church and
maybe he's got a non-meat burger.
The Impossible Whopper. Okay. Jim,
George wants to say something. Let George say something because he's been
on all this. Is Damien? I recommend a book if you like to read. Black Rednecks and White Liberals by Dr. Thomas Sowell. It's really a good book. He's an economist.
Dr. Thomas who?
Sowell, Sowell, and he. Like one of the things he brought up.
What's up, Reds?
He said that, like in the 50s, blacks had a lot of more, like two parent homes, and actually their academic achievement was higher then, even under all the Jim Crow laws and all that. And he brings out a lot of things, and he's like, and I'm going to tell you one other thing, man. The Ku Klux Klan could not have done a better job with putting black people back on the plantation than Lyndon Baines Johnson did in the 1960s.
I knew it was going political.
Yeah. I mean, with all that I'm telling you, he starts right there and he says...
Any book with the title liberals in it is definitely a hack piece.
No, it's not.
Hey, how about the PragerU? Do you watch that too, PragerU, and how they say that the Democrats and Republicans never switch policies with that bullshit?
I don't listen, dude. I'm an independent thinker. I listen to different people. Why do you think I'm here?
Yeah, this is as mixed as it gets.
Right.
This is as mixed as it
gets. I get you, but I'm always cautious of any book that has.
Yeah. Why? Hey. I came here and I got
We just
checked a
need a
couple
little
of times,
person.
just like
We had one.
Oh,
And
yeah, that's right.
So it's like what I'm about. The whole thing about the get over it, man. Lily, I totally get what you're saying, but at the same time, I feel like, and I'm just this way by nature. I'm the dude who says what everybody in the fucking room's thinking, but is afraid to say it.
I respect that.
And
that don't mean I ain't gonna talk shit,
I can understand you getting upset.
Hey, look, I don't want people to think I'm out here thinking
completely. Your feelings are valid. I'm just saying that it's something that a conversation that we need. That thank God we're having it right here. That we're having it right here, and we're talking about it. It's just that I live in Jacksonville, Florida. It's named after Andrew Jackson, who was one of the worst racists. He was a war criminal. If you don't believe that, the Trail of Tears with the Cherokee Indians. Okay, I went to the high school's named by him.
That don't matter. That don't matter.
We had Confederate.
It didn't matter to me.
Yeah, but I mean the whole legacy, the Jim Crow.
Because I don't see white people like you see them, Damien. That's why, and I never will. I never will. There's nothing you can say or do. They're putting speed bumps. They put speed bumps and they're redlining and they're not letting you get loans or houses. I'll never see white people like that ever.
Yeah, when did I become a robot?
I'll never see them like that. I'll never see them like that ever. Ever.
Popping and locking up in this motherfucker.
To be honest,
Damien sees them like that until his dick gets hard.
Damien says he's wealthy. He has a good credit score. He has a white wife. How much more do you need? Where's the?
He's whiter than no saint. Damien is whiter than no saint.
Hold on.
He's
all I'm saying is. So let me get this straight. So let me get this straight. So let me get this straight. I have 3 brothers and 1 brother that I've never met because my biological dad was real strong. I got 3 sisters as well. So I got 7 other siblings. I shouldn't want to see them have successful and have great lives. And even if they marry who they want, none of them are married to white women, I'm telling you. But I'm just saying I shouldn't want them.
But then help them.
No. See, you make a joke of it, but I'm just saying. So that absolved me of wanting to see them having great, amazing lives with no barriers, to avoid the barriers and to knock down any barriers that might keep them from having amazing lives. I can't do that for my uncles and my cousins and stuff like that.
I will say this. Wait 1 second.
Can't help them?
1 second though.
I mean,
I just want to say
barriers
something.
need to be broken down in 2023.
I just want to say something real quick. I'm just a little bit confused. We can sit here and all contend that the white patriarchy is essentially in power. The whole goal of a person being in power is to maintain power. They're never going to get rid of all those barriers. They're never going to get rid of all those speed bumps and curbs and all that shit. It's never going to leave. It's not going to happen.
And the times that we find ourselves in power, the first thing we do is use it to empower, oppress other Black people.
Thank you.
And there's been documents. This is documented. There were Black slave owners.
Right.
This is documented. Okay.
Right.
This is
So when you're so Damien, when you're warning your siblings about the white boogeyman under the bed, make sure you warn them about wealthy, well-off Black people who don't want a certain element of Black people in their neighborhoods, in their apartment buildings, at their fucking jobs or around them, and don't want to date them. So when you're going to warn people, go across the board with it. But I do want to, I'm sorry, I forgot your name again. Our new guest. Jonathan, you said what barriers need to be broken in 2023.
Yeah,
I'd like to hear that.
But I also want to say this too. Hey, I was young. But that's a good question of what barriers need to be pushed. And another thing is that why would a majority, right? The white people in America, right? Why would they as a majority want to give up their power? You have to think logically. Hold on, you got to think logically. Because you're thinking from the mind of a Black man, right? But think about this. If you're the majority in a country,
let Jen and Lady say it, I'm not.
Okay, but listen. But if you're the majority in a country, right?
You Black light.
if you're a majority in the country, why would you give up your power? Like why wouldn't you? I could see independence is just I could flourish independently, right? As a citizen of this country. But and you know, this country allows you to flourish. I mean, my man Heron, right? DeMarco. I know a guy from what's the place? South, what's it called? It's in Jamaica. It's called Spanish Town.
Yeah.
I know a guy who told me that he was from Spanish Town. He said, you know, the only reason why I'm here in DC is because, you know, I had a bakery back in Spanish Town, but I was being extorted. So now I'm in you know, DC in America because I was being extorted in Spanish Town. So I had to make my way out because I didn't have the money to keep providing for these gangsters. So you know, I know I'm kind of going all over the place, but what I'm saying is, like, in America, you can independently thrive without having, I mean, sure, you got to pay taxes, but you could thrive without having that gun to your head. You see what I'm saying? And so I say that to say this, you know, why focus on the fact that the majority is these great white people, whatever the case may be, but like, you can thrive in this country. You can win in this country.
Damien ain't got no gun to his head. This man just said he owned a complex that his mama live in. He ain't hurting, honey. He's with the white people. What are you talking about?
They're not just one condo. I don't know a complex. I don't know a complex.
You can be my great.
I don't own a complex.
Because I was in the comment section. I was in the comment section saying this, right? I'm discipling the way in the comment section, and I was saying that my great grandfather, right? He knocked out a white dude in North Carolina, and he was told, you know, to get out of town before sunset, right? Before sunfall. I mean, night, whatever. So he had to get out of town. And as he, you know, was leaving out of North Carolina, he went to Virginia. Now, as he's in Virginia, he gets kidnapped and put back into slavery. Okay. Not back into slavery, but put into slavery because slavery was long gone. Now that he's in slavery, you know, him and about 3 other guys, they escaped, and he made his way to Detroit, and that's how I had family in Detroit. But I say all that to just say this is that, and that's when my grandfather was born in Detroit or Inkster, whatever. But I say all that to just say that, you know, after this, he like started buying mansions because, you know, he had skills. We wasn't integrated. We were segregated, and we had to have our own skills. So in our struggles of being, you know, segregated or whatever the case may be, we had developed skills, and we started using our skills. And he ended up, you know, acquiring mansions throughout this whole country. Okay. And, you know, that's more impressive than the movie 12 Years a Slave because he bought several mansions. So I say that to say, and my grandfather is living in one of the mansions. He got an 18-bedroom house in Seattle, Washington, because they was buying stuff all on the West Coast and everything. And I'm a homeowner. Right now, this is a house. Washington, D.C., the 3rd most expensive place to live in this country. We can win.
Go ahead.
I got my own business. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I own my own lemonade brand. I'm in over 40 stores in DC. See what I'm saying?
Congratulations.
What is it? Is it out here? I'll support it.
Man.
Yeah.
Where is it? What is it?
You have a website? I'm all about buying black if I can, because I'm trying to overcompensate.
I'm in stores, and I'm working on the, you know, it's a crazy demand.
Yeah, but anyway, your feelings, honey.
I'm just having fun with it.
You might be in your little feelings there a little bit, honey. We didn't mean to attack you, but we just
but real talk though. But real talk though, you got to ask yourself, right?
Maybe not.
If I'm okay, let's look at Africa, right? Why would they give up their power if they're the most dominant race there? Like, it just doesn't make sense for white people to give up their power. So just enjoy the fruits of your labor.
Okay, I'm not trying to ask anybody to give them power.
With money phones, enough rappers with money phones showing you we now losing.
Don't get me started on that bullshit.
You can win.
The money phone. The money
You can
phone.
win in this country. You do not have to be a victim. You feel me?
Right. That's what I'm saying. The violence.
Listen. As a youth, I punched a police officer in the face and walked away without being in handcuffs. In DC, people fight cops here. You feel me? And win and walk away.
What are you saying, man? Where are you going with this? What
I'm saying is that we're not victims like you're trying to promote.
Thank you. We're all saying it. We're all saying it, but Damien's refusing to hear it.
Like,
at this point in 2023, anybody, white, Black Damien saying, well, you know, the speed bumps and you sound stupid. In 2023, you sound stupid.
sound
I don't care
delusional.
if you,
sound
I don't care if it, I don't, well, the whole panel agrees. So you're the odd person out. And sometimes you have to pause. Let me tell you something. When I'm in a group of people that I respect intellectually, I think everybody here is dope intellectually, though we don't agree all the time. We don't fucking agree all the time. But I respect the opinions, right? So if I'm the only one and they've done it to me, Jen, come on, you know damn well. And the whole panel is telling me, Jen, that was wrong or that. I have to listen because I think collectively this is a good group of people and they're thinkers. Yet you want to die on the hill of you don't sound stupid. And you sound stupid, Damien. It is 2023. It is 2023. Okay. If you were still claiming you're a victim because of the speed bumps of redlining and try to get a loan and this that and you're sitting there with a white and you're sitting the caveat and you're sitting there with a white wife, you sound stupid. I don't know why you're not accepting it. You sound stupid because you are the epitome. Check this out. You are the epitome of what Black people can do regardless of the speed bumps and the system oppression and the laws in place. You are the epitome. You are a walking, got over it. You are walking, talking, thinking, marrying, fucking, got over it. So that's why you look dumb, because I understand if you were sitting up here and you were a Black man who couldn't get a job and white women don't want you and you got red lines and you try to get a bank loan and the white man after me and I can't get, then that makes sense. But you're sitting up here living basically a white life, okay? Basically a white life.
Like a white man.
Right? Whiter than no saint. He didn't even marry white. He didn't even marry white. So,
like a white man.
You sound dumb.
Probably acting like a white man.
You got Black men that become rich or have money.
Hold on. That was a personal attack, and I need to address that. Did you just say I'm probably acting like a white man? Is that what you said? Those are words you just said.
That is exactly the words I just said, because that's what you're doing right now on the panel. You're living a Black life, and it's all the anger of the Black life, but you walking like a white man.
Okay. Let me ask you a question.
That's interesting. That's interesting, actually.
That's bullshit. That ain't interesting. That's bullshit. That's just talking out your ass. That's bullshit.
That's not talking out my ass.
Because I walk out this door, I walk out of my neighborhood, I walk anywhere in Texas, I am a nigga. So don't ever forget I'm less of a nigga than you are because I live in a nicer house. I go down to Central Texas, North Texas, or when I go to Houston, I am another nigga. So don't ever try to seem like I live in life as a white man because I have a white wife and I think she meant,
wait a minute. Wait, I think she meant the code switch, Damien.
Well, no, what's called it? No.
Can you explain that? Can you walk out your door? Anytime you walk out your door, you're gonna be a nigga. Even with your white wife, you're gonna always be a nigga.
Extra nigga then.
I'm acting like a white wife.
Let me ask him a question.
You're gonna always be Black. Even your little Black mixed children are gonna be Black because they got a little nigga in them. So
but let other people say it. Let the other people. That may not be the case.
But the real question is: are you walking around in Texas being mistreated by white people? That's the real question.
No.
As a whole, no, absolutely
not.
I'm
just
not
complain about.
They man, no attention to your Black ass.
Oh my God. Go ahead, Haran.
Let me ask Dave a question real quick. So Dave.
It's weird. Let
me just ask this quick question.
Please.
You bring up the hypothetical scenario. Well, not hypothetical. The scenarios of your family and other people, your loved ones, going through the upticks and speed bumps and the so on and so forth, and the barriers and so on and so forth. This is my question. Is there, looking at your life, is there an element, knowing where you come from and knowing, and I'm assuming that you knew all these people when you were on, starting from ground zero, is there an element of survivor's guilt that you deal with at times?
Yeah, I think that's it.
That might be it.
No, well, hold on.
No, that's
it. Bingo. It's a
bingo. Now, wait a minute. I'm going to put myself on the fire. There was a time when I was dealing with survivors.
Holy shit.
there was a time when I was dealing with survivor's guilt because, you know what I mean, I grew up in New York in the 80s. Okay? You know what I mean? And I got the kind of job and I deal with the kind of money none of the dudes I grew up with dealing with. Maybe one. You know what I mean?
I like that.
The rest of them are underemployed.
All right, you asked me a question. Let me answer it.
So go ahead.
Let me answer it. Let me answer it. Let me answer it. I am not dealing with survivor's guilt. I don't sit there and be like, oh my God, I made it. I'm wrong for making it. I busted my ass. I did what I needed to do. I recognized things. I learned what was going on. I watched the snakes. I cut my grass so I could see the snakes so I could avoid that shit. I took it upon myself to do that. I got with the right kind of people. You met my cousin TJ. He's one of those people who was like, you need to learn how to maneuver, because I was a hoodlum. I was hood. It may not seem now, but I was hood. I wanted to fight everybody. I was on a no-way path, and this cat said, you need to start reading books and start to outthink motherfuckers. That's what you need to do. And you are smart enough to get out of this situation. Another black man told me that, and I tried to figure out what is. I joined the military because he did it. It got me some education. Got some what the word I'm looking for?
Money
like, basically, I got. You going to say what?
Money for college.
Yeah. No, not just that, but I got some bearing. I got some bearing. I got know how to act. Discipline is the word I'm looking for, and then it helped me progress in different. It helped me stay focused in order to move. I want other people to do that as well. White military. Okay.
So nobody white stood in your way.
Yeah, it sounds like you were making bad choices. It didn't sound like redlining or speed bumps. It sounded like you wanted to run the street.
And then you pulled yourself up by your boyfriend and got it together and made a life for yourself.
Hold on. Let me finish. There were definitely opportunities that I did not get, and I could almost tell it was overtly because of who I was.
And you still kept it going. I
still kept it going. I didn't stop.
Successful, regardless.
Absolutely. But
so
this is what I think. This is what I think.
And here's the thing that black people, but black people do that too. Damien, you jump in here too. If you can't relax and get interrupted, oh well, because we all get interrupted. Everybody here gets interrupted. You want to be special?
But when y'all coming at me, let me respond. Let me retort.
Right, but we
everybody
do
just
though.
having a general conversation.
No, but we do though. George and No Saint are waiting patiently to freaking talk so we could interrupt each other.
Because somebody asked me a question.
And this conversation is about that. You see what you two did? You see what your people
let me land the plane on this. Let me land on the plane on this.
No, you never land the plane. What are you talking about? You circled us. You never land the plane. You never land the plane.
Two white devils.
I will land it now. I will
land
it
now. You do this.
Let me land the plane.
Lands the plane 15 minutes later.
Let me land the plane. But then somebody asked me a new question. But we're going. Let me land the plane. So all I'm saying is I'm not sitting up there thinking that you should be like, oh my God, my great grandfather was a slave. I shouldn't do nothing, or I can't be successful. That is not my refrain. Nothing I said should have pointed in that direction. All I'm saying is there is a different, it can fuck with the melon a little bit if you say, if you're the government that's supposed to be, that you are, or that are supposed to be making laws to empower and protect and make sure that you have the best life, are doing stuff like not passing anti-lynching laws because they don't think it's necessary. What that sends to the black community is the things those things we don't care about what you've been through. We don't care about you. We don't care what you find important. We don't care if it's not financially feasible or if it doesn't keep us in power. Anything that's just for you, we don't shit. And I'm just saying, and that could fuck with somebody's melon.
Say that again, Jonathan.
I didn't experience that, so I can't speak to that.
Chief Keef and Lil Durk.
Chief Keef.
They don't know about that deal. They don't know about that deal.
For
right.
Me.
Yeah.
Thank
you. Chief Keef and Lil Durk.
Thank you.
About that deal, bro.
Okay, but then Damien, how do you think your mom felt when you married a white woman? You said she picked cotton. You think she was like, oh, my child just married.
She didn't like it, but now they're best friends. They talk to each other twice a day.
All my whole life.
Well, she has no choice. It's either get along with your wife or let go of you.
She's still gonna be she'll still be my mom. She don't have to call her twice.
Maybe
No,
his
I'm saying
wife
that
is
she
not a
had
bad
to.
person. Maybe she likes his
Yeah,
wife.
We don't think.
maybe she's a
I'm
great
sure she's
person.
one. I'm sure she's a great person.
I
I
guarantee
guarantee
his
she's a
wife-
great
His
person.
wife was.
Nobody.
But
We
in
don't
the, but
know
in
his
the,
wife.
but what I'm saying
I'm not
is,
saying that.
if
But she white, so
how do
she
you
must
think
be
he
have
felt?
something wrong with her.
That's
She
not.
was
That's
like,
not.
yay.
That's not a question. That's not a question that she's a great person.
I mean,
That's actually
inherently,
dumb. That's
George,
dumb.
No,
you were
I'm
saying there's
saying
something
you're
wrong with
saying
your
that
ass.
she has
No,
to.
no, 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 no. I will say. I will. I will say
No, I'm saying
to
she had no.
everyone.
My point was not that she's a bad person or that she's whatever. They get along famously now, but his mother didn't like it at first simply because the woman was white and because of his mother's
Yep.
experiences in this country.
Yeah, right. And then
So
100%.
she
she
got
had
100%.
so right. So
But you
she
did
had
it
to.
anyway.
She
Take her
had
feelings
to
into
get along with her and get to learn to know her. Right.
No, she had to get to know her. I
Yep.
don't say she had
Right.
to
She
get
had
along.
to. She
You don't have
had
to
to.
get
Yep.
along. There's
It's
plenty
best
of
if she get
mother-in-laws
along.
that
She
don't
want to
get
see
She's.
her
It's best
grandkids
if
and
she
her
gets
son.
along.
She was
It's
talking
best
about,
if
I'm
she
not
gets
going to
along.
accept my mom, regardless. I don't care who she with. If she's not like other people, and I've seen my mom. So
Hey, Damien.
I
it's just,
mean, from my
Well,
perspective personally, I mean, when it comes to white relations, there's white people in my life that I'm friends with, that I'm close with, that I even do love. However, I do tell them to their faces, "You still white though."
yeah.
Don't ever
There's a
think that
cultural
I'm never
difference.
gonna forget that. You know what I mean?
There's a
Like I
cultural
said,
At any given
difference.
time, I don't
Right.
know.
You're
I
Right.
don't
And
know.
that's
and
I don't know. At any given time, I
and
don't
that's the point I think we were all making. Like, listen, I know I can be successful. Can't nobody stop me from me.
Right.
All of that good stuff. But I see your ass now. Don't think I don't see you.
Right.
Yeah,
But
I
I
know
can
you're
be
right,
I
successful.
fuck with
I'm good.
you,
I'm
but I don't
smart.
really
I can
fuck with
do
But
you.
how did Chris Rock say? If I'm sitting across from a white dude and he just picks a pencil and starts stabbing me in the chest, I should be like, yeah, I should have seen it. I should have seen it coming. It's like you got to be.
And
I should have seen it.
we also we also got to stop saying that we say this a lot, but we're the exceptions. There's a whole
No, it's
lot of
not
exceptions. Then there's a whole lot of exceptions because I'm in a network of friends and family members and people that I work with, and they're all black and brown and they're all doing great. So there are a lot of these exceptions that get past them white speed bumps that were put in place for us to fail. There's a lot of exceptions. People like using that word, but we're the exceptions. We made it out. There's a whole lot of us out here. There's a whole lot of us out here. And we didn't have to marry white to get out.
And there's another thing I think that needs to be addressed too, right? Within the black
To
community.
me,
No, I'm not trying to beat you up, but you did mention this.
I'm just kidding.
I'm
just kidding.
You're being complimented in the comment section, and I think that you're doing a good job of taking patience.
It's not my first rodeo. You think I'm not done this before?
But I want to say this. Is that we tend to act like how Jen was saying it's no difference between racism and prejudice. You know what I'm saying? But we tend to try as black people sometimes, I mean, we just gotta be real, right? Sometimes we try to create new definitions for words. You see what I'm saying? Like racism don't mean power. Power ain't in that word.
That's what it always means, man. It's always meant
Power
that.
ain't in that word. It's all about.
Thank you.
It's not in the word. Like look up the raw definition for the word. Power is not in that word.
So I'll say this.
It got remixed.
It got remixed.
Right.
Listen,
that's a lot of words.
I can still hear you. I'm just going to grab some other headphones.
Let me get this out. Words over time do change meanings, right? So there is a dictionary you can look up where racism means you have to have the power over the person. And there's another dictionary that says it means you hate a person. To me, if you want to clear it on out, it's not much better of a word if you're a bigot. If I call you a bigot, it's pretty much as bad as calling you a racist. So that's why I don't like.
But see, the reason why I choose to say that,
when Ish was on here and he said I'm not a racist. This is back a while, and I said, "Oh, are you a bigot?" He never got a chance to address it, but he said, "Oh, that's a great question," because he knew where I was going. Because racism in the Nation of Islam means you have to have power, so black people can't be racist. So that's why I said, "Well, are you a bigot?"
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's
words change over time. So I mean, over time, like gay used to mean happy. Now
it still means happy,
it still can mean.
It's just
two
definitions.
He's gay. You're not saying he's happy. You're saying he's a homosexual or she's a homosexual.
Yeah, so it's just two definitions, but it still means happy. And it's just like the word racism, bro. Racism, the initial word is always gonna stand. We could flip it and make other people feel bad. You know what I'm saying? and we could like exalt one people and you know, lower other people and stuff like that. And we can't be racist, woo. And like it was said, like we treat each other the worst. You know what I'm saying? And I would know. I mean, I had infrared beams put on me by somebody just crossing the street while me and my son, rest in peace, killed by a black man last year.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, you know, you know how it is. You know what I'm saying? DC, right? And we in the passengers, we just in the car. You know what I'm saying? He in the passenger seat. Dude walk past, put the infrared beam on both of us. Just walking across the street, like gotta make sure I put the beam on y'all. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, listen.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm sorry, switch headphones. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, Jonathan. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go on, rock on, brother.
No, it's just let's just be real. Like, we know that we're harder on each other than white people are hard on us. We know that we're hard on each other than police are hard on us.
Way worse. Way worse.
We know.
I agree.
Way worse.
You will be hearing gunshots in the background, probably in my house. You know what I'm saying? Like right now. You feel me? Like it's going down. We don't need to pretend.
You must be in Southeast.
No, across the street. Northeast. You know what I'm saying?
He ain't far.
Hey, I knew he wasn't far.
And guess what? Who say Northeast ain't Southeast?
That's true. Yeah.
The whole DC, where it's gentrified at, where all the white people at, they get robbed. They get
I heard it's getting bad again. But New York is gotten like it was again. So
where you living at, Lily?
I'm in Brooklyn, but I grew up in Capitol Hill, 3rd and D.
Oh yeah, so you know, I mean, this
by
all
Union Station.
DC ain't ever going. You know, this is what it is.
But you see, that's a reason. Let me jump in real quick. That's reason 155 why it's more important for you to warn people about their own people than a white man who doesn't want to give you a loan. That's why it's way more fucking important, because my life is not at risk because some asshole works in the office and put colored on my application. I could work around that. I can't work around the black and brown people in the neighborhoods that I grew up in trying to take my head off for a chain or for a bag. It's way worse. And that's why to me, you sound stupid when you're talking about, but you know, the redlining, because that
It's
to
a lot
me,
of bumps in the road.
right, that to me is in general. A black person in a position of power fucking stop you.
Right.
Anyone in power. And now black and brown people, if you notice, they're becoming, it's more common that they're in power now. And what have they done with it? What have we witnessed that they do with it?
Further oppressed.
So that's my point. So to come and throw around the kumbaya of the marches of Selma, like we're in Selma still, is asinine to me. It does nothing but diminish a black child's or a brown child's psyche. Now you put them out in the world with two demons: the white man under the covers, okay, and the black man who wants to take his head off of his Jordans.
Next door.
It does not help. That's why my question was, what's that doing for you?
Okay.
That's why my question before was, what's this acting like white people have during speech? What's it? How's it working?
Okay.
It's a stupid argument. This isn't Selma. This isn't the
50s. They asked the question and then they just like, let me answer the question.
Nobody asked you a question, Damien.
Oh, I thought you were asking again. You said that was my question.
No, I wasn't asking you.
I just want to say one thing. What we don't really often talk about is that before the civil rights bill was passed, we were all literally, we were all in the same boat. You know what I mean? And what it was really about was about blacks being able to obtain the kind of jobs and resources that our white counterparts had. It wasn't necessarily so much about racism per se. It was about black men basically being able to have the opportunity to be more than just a goddamn bus driver. Now, it's a lot more layered than just that, but that was a part of it. Now, what we don't often talk about is that once this bill was passed, we don't often discuss the rise of the black bourgeoisie. And now the black bourgeoisie, once they were able to get their hands on the bag, basically ran out the door and they basically ain't even looked back. So for quite some time, it just kind of, in many ways, metaphorically turned into, once again, the house nigga versus the field nigga. You know what I mean? In many ways, it's just that there were a lot of economics involved. Now I will say this I say all this to say this. Not saying that, you know, if you gain a degree of prosperity in this world as a black person, you should forget all about the struggle, We forget all about all of these things. However, we also have to sit down and ask ourselves, the people who are not progressing, are, if you were able to progress, and yes, there was still, we all don't have the same level of cognition. We all don't have the same, level of skill with certain things, but someone can improve their life to some degree in America as a minority. It's not 30 years ago. Now, knowing that and saying that, is there really a need to really sit here and remind yourself that there's still barriers if it really doesn't matter at this point? It's not a point. It's not a situation where it's like, all right, we got to get upstairs because these night riders gonna come out this motherfucker at about 5 o'clock and they are not kissing my black ass out here. Nah, it's not one of those situations. It's a situation where it's like, yes, racism is still here. Racism is forever. Okay. Yeah. That shit is forever.
And it's not just, and it's not exclusive to white people. It's not exclusive to white people.
Not at all. Not at all. That shit is forever. It is a part of the human condition. Human beings are, we're just fucked up that way. Period. Now, knowing all of these things, for me personally, that shit ain't got nothing to do with where the fuck I'm trying to go. And if the people that I'm with feel that has something to do with where they're trying to go, we're not in the same boat, man. We're not the same person.
Right.
We're not the same person because you feel that, regardless of anything, even the reality of that there will always be this thing. If you feel that you cannot improve yourself, and I feel that I can, regardless of the fact that this thing that's here will forever be there, how can we actually be in the same, boat? How do we have the same thinking? I can't convince you that you can improve yourself. Now, yes, there will be a ceiling. There will be a ceiling. You know what I mean? Let's put it this way, Damien. I keep it real with you. I ain't never seen a light-skinned nigga get his ass whooped by the police before a day in my life. I've never seen that shit. Me personally. I've seen a lot of dark-skinned brothers like myself and, the gentleman right here, Jonathan, get our ass beat and shit like that. I'm not saying that, but not saying, you know what I'm saying? We're not saying that light-skinned niggas don't get fucked up by cops. But I've seen with my own eyes, y'all get handled a little bit different. I've been in the room, where y'all get handled a little bit different from dark-skinned people. Now, knowing that, I don't have any beef.
I can't entertain that, Sean. I'm sorry, brother. I can't entertain that shit.
But the point here that I'm making is that everybody has a degree of how they're treated. Everybody has a degree of privilege. Everybody has that kind of degree of, what's going on. What does that actually have to do with how you progress in this country? Nothing. What does that have to do with that? This is it's really a non-issue. It really should be a non-issue.
I think he gets it.
Thank you. That is the
really
fucking
should be just a non-issue
point.
Because at the end of the day, like, you can still get a job. You might not be the CEO of the company.
Why not?
But you can still get a job.
Why not?
Yeah, because white people are in control. But guess what?
You said both ways. What if where I want to go?
But you might be under them. But guess what though? You might be under that white CEO. And guess what? That paycheck look a lot better than a lot of motherfuckers under you.
You're talking out of both sides of your mouth, Ron.
But there are black men that are CEOs. It's not exclusive to white people. Stop acting like y'all on the fucking plantation. It is sickening. It is repulsive. It's fucking repulsive. It's repulsive.
Nobody said
that. It's cap. It's cap and it's fucking repulsive.
Nobody said that.
Listen, in any structure of power, it doesn't matter what race is put. Tyree Nichols was beat to death by black men. When people have power, they wield it.
Period.
It doesn't matter what they are. So making it exclusive to white people is asinine and defeatist. Can't people get that through their fucking heads? It's like Bad Bunny said, that thing that white people are gods, you have to let it go. Well, it's like anything where there's power. Well, white people are the CEOs. Yeah. Well, police brutality, because white people listen, there was such a lesson in Tyree Nichols' death. 5 black men in power who felt untouchable beat another black man to death. So was Tyree Nichols' problem the systemic oppression and the redlining, and he can't get a bank loan? What was his issue on that night? 5 black people that looked like him. When people have power, they wield it. I grew up in the South Bronx, went to a funeral throughout my entire fucking teenage years, every other month. Nam one of them guys were killed by a white man.
Never.
Not one. Not even one.
Not one. I don't
Not
know any.
even one.
Yeah.
Not a one. And I went to many. It was a fucking field trip for me and my friends, literally every other month. Who got killed? I was just with him yesterday. Wait, who got killed? I was just not one of them was killed by a white person. So save the bullshit.
But Jen, I'm
when
gonna
you come and tell me, when you fucking come and tell me, well, you got to look out for that white boogeyman. Get the fuck out of here.
But Jen, I'm gonna tell you where
Get
that comes
the fuck
from.
out of here.
That come from living in a white community, ain't you, Damien?
Most of it is Indian. I live in most of my neighbors are here.
Like
Indian.
you either see East Indian, you either see Native. When you say Indian, you mean Native American?
Indian from India.
Okay, so you're around nothing but East Indians, and
my neighbor is Indian. My neighbor is Mexican.
He means the ones that answer the phone when you call T-Mobile.
Them and white people though, right?
Yeah, I know.
Right?
He said no. I got Nigerian, Mexican, and what you call it? It's San Antonio. San Antonio, 60% Mexican.
Okay.
Do you live in a gated community, Damien?
But you're not around the hood. You ain't around the hood. You ain't around
a gated community. Okay. All right.
You left that part out though, Dave. You lived in the gated community.
I said it before.
He is privileged. He is privileged walking and talking. He is literally privileged walking and talking.
No. I am not privileged.
He is living. You hustled and now you're privileged.
Oh, let me
You are the epitome of privilege. You are the epitome.
Point out.
That is so not true. That is so not true.
You are the epitome of privilege.
The privilege means that I can walk out and still have the same respect anywhere I go because of what. That is not the case. I walk out of these gates. That's
because you associate. That's because you associate privilege to white people. Right. That's why you think it's synonymous. Right. You think privilege and white is synonymous, but you have privilege. You have privilege.
Okay. I will concede. Yes, there's certain privileges I have because of my work.
I brought that up. It's because those are the main ones always complaining. People who don't live in the hood are the main ones complaining about the white people. People in the hood, we know we are the problem.
I grew up in the hood.
Let him finish his point. Let him finish his point because I'm interested.
Don't get me wrong. You always gonna have black folk blaming the white man. We always gonna hold on to the white man, right? But overall, you're still gonna have those same black people always blaming the white man. Are also gonna be like, but damn, man, these niggas, man, you know what I'm saying? We always gonna go back to us because we know we are destroying ourselves in our own communities because we're the ones crossing the yellow tape. We're the ones seeing the blood and the chalk. We're those people. So when you in these other communities, a lot of times it's easy to be like looking at CNN and looking at these uppity, folk on CNN trying to make everybody mad at the white man. You know what I'm saying? That's the easy stuff. Don't use your brain. Just be mad at white people because Don.
I never said be mad at white people. Let me just say this, and I'm gonna say it very succinctly, and I'm gonna say it, and that's all. Then I'll just let y'all rock. I've never said be mad at the white man. I never said hate the white man. I never said. And let me finish. I never said that every woe that you have in life is because of a white man. I've never said anything remotely close to that. All I'm saying is, for people, it was one specific point. People saying to just get over it, I think that is a disingenuous statement to make because what it does, it deludes and it makes it seem like the struggle to get to where other people have gotten was as easy for them as it was for you. All I'm saying is that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that you got to be. I never said a boogeyman or something like that. But there are remnants of those times that still permeate. There's still laws on the book. People, surprised. Oh my God, it's still that law is still there. And so that's what I'm saying. That you have to educate yourself and be 100% aware that in your position, it is very possible that it could be a difficult road for you to get the same thing that somebody else won't have. Let me finish.
But it's a difficult road if you live next to a black person in the hood. It's a difficult road.
Let me finish. And the thing is, if people think like y'all think, and you disregard somebody because who they choose to marry, y'all gonna lose a whole lot of allies, and a lot of times those allies have the money to help fund.
I don't give a fuck about a white ally. I'm not afraid. See, again, the fear mongering. Here's the thing. And this is why. I know your white wife is an ally in your white world. Great. But this is why. This is what you said. If we disregard someone, okay. If you disregard, but here's the thing. You'd save her before you'd save a black woman. How are you an ally? Because she's your fucking wife.
Oh, I'm gonna say my wife
because she's your fucking right, which is a white woman. So how are you an ally?
I'd save my brother before I save Haran.
How are you an ally though?
I'd save anybody who's related to me. What you call it? Because
how are you an ally?
Because I'm speaking out on their behalf, regardless.
So what you're doing is
speaking some shit out.
You're on these panels speaking shit out, and then you go behind your gated community and sleep in bed with your white wife. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? We're all talking on here, but we're all talking out here. We're all talking. George is talking. I'm talking. Lily's talking. Are we saving humanity? And then you drive. You pull into your gated community. You pull into your gated community. And you go to bed with your white wife. You're the quintessential politician. You just talking to talk. You're the quintessential politician.
Anytime I've had a conversation with anybody that's
let me tell you something. And you know what? You moved away from the hood because you know what can happen in the hood with you and your white wife and your half white kids. That's why you moved out the hood, Damien. That's why you in a gated community. Why you didn't stay in the hood?
For a job.
All right, but here's the thing. But wait, let me ask a serious question. Let me ask a serious question. Let me ask this question. Let me ask this question. If the problem,
Bunny don't live in
I'm paraphrasing. Right, but he also doesn't think that white people are his allies. Yeah, but he said, right, but Bad Bunny also doesn't. Bad Bunny is not in bed with white women. Bad Bunny is not in bed with white women, though, making excuses because he has a Puerto Rican girlfriend. He has a Puerto Rican girlfriend. Okay, it means that he ain't you. It means that he ain't you. So let me finish. Let me finish my question. Because I'm gonna finish my question. It's a statement. It's a rhetorical.
Okay,
here's the thing. You moved out of the hood to get away people that look like you, not white people. You left your neighborhood to get away from people that are your same race. You did not leave that neighborhood to get away from the white boogeyman. You left, them people in that hood because you know you can't have nice things there, can you, Damien?
Hello.
So who's the real monster under the bed? It seems to me they come in every race, shape, and gender.
I moved out of the hood because the big houses were not in the hood. There's no houses.
There's plenty of big houses in the hood. There's big houses in the hood, Damien.
There's no big houses.
Yes, there are.
I think that's houses in Oakland. I couldn't afford the big houses in Oakland.
The whole country being gentrified because there's nice houses.
No, I don't agree.
Right, there you go.
There you go, y'all. Because I thought
that's why they gentrified our neighborhoods. Because that's what.
Come on now.
The reason Dane is not in a black neighborhood is it's not because where he lives in Texas. Now, maybe you can find a really ritzy all black neighborhood. He's got more money. It's like Bill Gates is not living in the trailer. He's not living in the trailer park.
But why?
Because you're going to go where the property value is the highest if you smart.
What do you mean, but why?
I mean,
what do you mean, but why?
I didn't maybe like, oh my God, there's black people over the Michigan. I got a Nigerian right there, and most of it's Indian. So
man,
I'm around black people.
They're gonna lay you down.
I'm gonna bet. You know what, Jen? I'm gonna bet I got around more black people than you.
Say again.
I'm gonna bet I live around more black people in this neighborhood than you do.
You said you live around more black people.
I bet you I'm living around more black people than you are.
I mean, and I've never cracked my legs to a white person, so I beat you.
No, what I'm saying, but
I trump you. I trump you.
Why don't you?
I trump you.
There's black people in Vegas. Why don't you live where the black people live in Vegas?
How do you know where I live? How do you know where I live? Yeah, but how do you know? But how do you know what neighborhood I live in? How do you know what neighborhood? Okay, don't assume where I live.
I shouldn't assume.
I don't assume where I live, but here's the thing.
Mostly black people?
Here's the thing. I don't know. I don't see. I'm in a gated community as well. I don't know who the neighbors are. We got I think they're Filipino or some kind of Asian over here. We got black people across the street. We got black people up the block. There's a white couple that just got killed over there in that house over there. It was a murder suicide. Over there, okay.
That sucks.
But here's the thing: we can't do the right. It was, and I went over there to find out because I'm nosy. I got morbid curiosity, and I was talking to the cops, so I know the whole scoop. But anyway, let's not do this. Let's not try to out-black each other, okay? Because I would win. Okay, let's not try to out-black each other. Okay, you are. Listen, do you know that during slavery you would be a bedwench? Do you know that?
I'm a man. I would not be a bedwench.
You would be a bedwench. You would be a bedwench to Miss Bessie. You would be a bedwench to Miss Bessie.
No, I'd be a
You would be a bedwench. Let's rewind this to 100 years. You would be a bedwench with Miss Bessie. No, you would be a bedwench with Miss Bessie. And you know what Miss Bessie would do? Do you know what Miss Bessie would do? Do you know what Miss Bessie would do when Massa found out? Do you know what Miss Bessie would do to you? If Massa found out, you know what she would do. So let's not try to out-black each other tonight, okay?
I'm not big enough. I'm not. They want big dudes like LeBron.
Oh, you're big enough. You're big enough. You're big enough. Your wife wanted you. Your wife wanted you.
Let me ask Dave a question.
Your wife wanted you, so you big enough. You big enough.
Dave, do you think that there are white people in this world who could never accomplish what you've accomplished?
Do you feel like there's who?
Do you feel that there are white people in this world
100%
that would be able to accomplish
100%.
what you accomplished?
100%.
Okay, cool. So you agree that your tenacity, your intellectual acumen, and your ability to hustle are pretty much the main reasons why you are where you are right now?
Probably.
Oh, now it's probably. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. No. You know what? Definitely.
He does this. He does this.
Definitely.
He does this all the time.
Definitely.
Okay. So
I'm not debating. I'm answering the question straight up. You know, I've changed. I've amended my answer. Yes, 100%. It's been my push to be successful.
That we can contend that it is your attributes. 90% of it. It is your attributes and your natural abilities that have gotten you where you are right now.
Yes. I'm sitting where I'm sitting because of my hard work. Yes.
Okay, so you can also contend that there's some black people that you know, maybe the ones that you care about, so on and so forth.
I got two brothers that ain't doing shit.
Okay, then so can you contend that regardless of if they weren't that many speed bumps, or if the speed bumps were a little smaller and the curves were a little less curvy, they'd probably still not do shit. You would agree with that?
I concede that wholeheartedly 100%.
So then you can sit here and say, that as a person, you as a person, as an individual, and as all these individuals on here on the panel, your success and and where you are in life has absolutely, we can say 90% to do with who you are as an individual and not necessarily the systems that you're
I'd say 100% to do with that.
Okay, then what
you come up here
what are we talking about?
I know, right? But 2 hours.
Hold on. I'm gonna tell you what we're talking about.
What are we talking about?
I'm gonna tell you what I'm talking about. I'm gonna tell you what we're talking about.
Like
I'm not writing for the people who don't want to progress and don't want to put in the work. I'm not writing for those people. I'm not giving them an out to say you have a justification for being lazy and lethargic and not want to progress. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is the people who do, they will have to go to a lot. And unfortunately,
you don't have to cap for them though, because they got self-determinism. You don't got to cap for them. They don't need you.
Hold on.
They don't need you.
But the barrier of race is there, and it needs to be acknowledged in a lot of cases. The barrier of race I know outright, and I told you, there's been times I've had to check cats for making racially stereotypical jokes or
Do you also warn them about the black people in power that will fuck you in the ass for a job or not put you in a certain place because they want to be close to whitey? Do you also warn them about that? Because if you don't, then your shit is null and void. Then that's a mistake. You don't think that's a mistake?
I don't. I know.
You should. You should.
So you say look out for black. Just instead.
You should.
I should say in addition, or you said instead of. In addition, look out for black people, white people.
No, I mean you have such a bleeding heart. In addition, absolutely.
Okay. In addition, look out for black people who are snakes.
Because not all white people are bad. You married one, so not all white people are bad.
Who said that?
Right? Not all white people are bad.
Everything out of myself. Who said that?
Okay.
I didn't say that. I didn't even say.
The black man is God.
Huh? I don't believe in God. I don't believe in God. I'm an atheist.
Okay, but do you subscribe to the 5% nation theories?
I don't believe in any type of religion.
Do you believe
or whatever.
that all races come from the black man?
I believe that everybody originated from Africa. Yes.
So, do you believe that we are superior because of that?
No.
Okay.
I do.
I got a question for Gabe.
I don't believe that all races come from the black man. I don't believe that.
For real? Wait a minute. I know we gotta go, but I gotta hear this.
Shelly just asked me a question. What?
I said, are you a business owner?
I'll tell you what I got. I have a regular 9-to-5 corporate job. My wife and I are an investor in 2 food trucks, and we own 4 different properties. That's where my
chilling, man.
In your venture, do you employ or do you help the black?
What? I missed it. I was reading the chat. What happened?
I said, do you help aid and do you help the black community?
I've done before I moved to Texas, I was part of an organization called 100 Black Men. We would go to schools and talk to the youth about
I'm aware of them.
Moving to what's called it. Yeah, I would go to this. We go and how to dress, how to fill out applications, how to sit there. We would role play with them about how to do job interviews. We would go there and tell them how to just present themselves life that's more likely to get them employed, and as opposed to
work for a white man.
Huh?
To work for a white man?
Who cares to work for? They just need to be gainfully employed to feed their family.
So what do you do?
Okay, that's funny.
I'm in San Antonio. I've only been 2 years. I don't know that organization.
What do you do to support the black community to get them to be more educated, to be more mindful, to get over these roadblocks that you talk about, these barriers that are in the way?
In the 2 years that I've been in San Antonio, I haven't had the opportunity. Like, all I can do is when I hear that there's a black business, I go and frequent it. There's a black, barbershops, food places. Like my watches, like if I find out there's a black person doing some business, I will support it. That's why when I asked about your juice company, I said, let me know. I will be absolutely supportive. When I hear black people doing stuff, I invest my dollars into them.
We all do that. We've done it here live on the panel. We all do that.
Not everybody.
We all do that. Well, this panel does.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. So she's asking what I do. If there was, don't get me wrong, if there was an opportunity, if it was a school that was a in the hood, that black people said they needed black men to come and mentor, I would most wholeheartedly give my attention, my time, and resources if I need to go in and mentor the next generation. Because I want I want to see black people. I'm like Issa Rae on the Oscars.
So are you in a position?
Who you going for? I want all black people to win.
People?
You said what?
Do you hire people? Are you in a position in your job that you can hire people?
The people on my sales team, I did not hire. I came on, the team was already established. So what's called? So like I got one Indian dude, or actually, I'm sorry, he's a Hawaiian dude who basically Tongan, and the rest are white guys and a white girl.
Do you want white people to win too?
And the food truck is
because
Filipino
I'm just saying
dude.
that because,
I mean, it's a Indonesian and Filipino dude because it's a Thai food trucks.
Do you want white people to win too?
They already winning. Why would I need them to win if they already winning?
She's talking about the ones that ain't.
You don't think white people?
Yeah, the ones that ain't.
There's white people that have struggled.
Because how do you expect? Well, hold on. How do you explain meth parks, trailer parks? Is the white man stepping on him? Do they have, you know what I mean? Are the stumbling blocks? Is the white man fucking with them too?
You know what? I feel like this, and I'm just gonna say, who was it that said Chris Rock say you're fumbling your whiteness? Basically, it was a Chris Rock, or he said you're fumbling your whiteness.
And if you're
black, you're fumbling your Americanness.
Ooh.
Just
There
saying.
you go now. Come on now.
Like I said. So
So when you say, because I
but hey,
remember
I'm
when
not
Issa
black.
Rae said
I
that.
got a white wife, so fuck all that. Maybe I shouldn't be
When
none of that
Issa
shit.
Rae, well, you're black light. What did you say?
Black
You
light.
gotta put
Soft
some
black.
face with
You're
the
soft
salad.
black. So when you say I
Face
want
salad.
to see, because I like when Issa Rae said that. That shit was hella dope. She said I want to
That's
see
how I
all
feel.
black. Okay, so then why didn't you marry black? Why didn't you want to see a black woman in that position winning with
There
you?
was
Like
a black woman in
you
that position,
giving
but she
her
didn't want the
giving
position.
her you
And
giving
then
her
what's wrong?
those that wealth, giving her that wealth so she can
Okay.
win.
Okay, so and this is the situation. When I sat down and I met my wife, I was not looking to get married. I wasn't looking for a girlfriend. I was at a party hoping I could find something to smash. That's what I was doing. But she happened to be there. She was the one. I had just got out of the divorce, so my game and all that stuff. I didn't
So
even
you
have
was like,
game.
fuck these black women. I ain't doing that shit again.
No. I just didn't
kidding.
have
I'm
game
just kidding.
because I was so out of the game. I didn't know how to really
Don't say
holler
I'm
at
just
women.
kidding.
I
You
lost.
find black women difficult?
I find all women difficult.
So I find black women difficult.
If they're women and they're black, they're difficult. If they're so yes.
So you don't find your white wife difficult?
I find her difficult all the time. What are you crazy?
Okay. I apologize. You're right. I could agree with that. I'm sure you do.
Are you kidding me?
Before we go, because let me tell you, we didn't even do the topic, but Jonathan, a couple of people are curious about what you think about all races, because you said, oh, you don't believe all races come from Africa, and a couple of us were curious about that. So I'd love to hear it.
Okay, so Africa.
First of all, are you religious? I'm sorry, are you religious?
Yeah, off the bat.
What's your religion?
I'm a follower of Jesus.
Okay, so go ahead, go to the race thing.
So I'm automatically
Radar's going up here.
I'm automatically demonized. Nah, but I mean, you know, scripture doesn't teach that stuff. Like, it doesn't teach that everybody comes to. Okay, so listen, I know people still try to use the scripture and say that everybody still come from Africa, and they try to find the scriptures in that, talking about the Euphrates River and all this kind of stuff, and it was, near Ethiopia and all this kind of stuff. But you got to understand, the world wasn't divided yet, so there was no Africa. You understand what I'm saying?
Pangea.
The world wasn't divided yet.
Pangea.
Yeah, exactly.
Pangea. There was no Africa. So when we always talk
it wasn't called Africa, but it was that region of the world.
There was no Africa. There was no race. No, after Noah became race. There was no race before Noah, according to what I believe. I know.
Okay, that's all. It's a belief. That's cool.
Yes, a belief. Okay.
Right. And so from what I believe and from what Scripture teaches, and Scripture is accurate all throughout. And so, especially with the genealogies, people still use.
Oh my God, we can get all over that.
People still use genealogies to this day. The genealogies are like impeccable in the scriptures. But anyway, yeah, there was no race. You understand? And race only was spoken of after Noah. That's when you hear about the Cushites and the Japheth and
the oldest human skeleton was found in Africa.
Stop interrupting. Remember, you don't like that. It's the lowest form of communication.
I apologize, Jonathan.
We're not talking about bones of a human being. We're talking and see. Also, let me say this too. We're not talking about the oldest bones found by somebody, because it doesn't matter what was found by somebody. That's just what you found. People are finding stuff every day, so it's not about what somebody found. You know what I mean? So
I want to ask you real quick. So are you saying that basically? I understand what you're saying. There was no race. So what we were saying was that some of us believe that all races came out of Africa, right? Or not races, all people. So I don't believe in race either. But
I didn't say I don't believe
understand
in race.
I
didn't say I don't believe in race.
What's that? No, I don't believe in. I don't think. I think that was man-made. But there are differences, and I get. In this world, we have race because obviously it affects people. But what I'm asking you is, you said before Noah there was no race,
right?
And then after Noah,
there was no divided races. It was just mankind.
Oh, so you're saying that God divided the different tribes
after Noah?
People.
After Noah came the races. That's why you got the rainbow and stuff like that.
Okay.
I mean, it's all synonymous.
I just want to say one thing. You are entitled to your beliefs. I'm not challenging these things. But what I'm saying is that when you say certain things is something is accurate, you're saying when something is accurate, it leans towards it being factual. Like,
well, you already know
mean?
we could do this all day.
No,
clean your screen. Clean your screen, Haran.
Definitely. But the point of the matter is this. The point of the matter is this that, I totally understand what you're saying. And this is a heated conversation, not a heated, excuse me. This is a lengthy conversation, very multi-layered conversation. We're already on 3 hours. Yeah, I mean,
I already turned into a gremlin. I done turned into a gremlin already.
Exactly. Let's just wrap this up for the people. You know what I mean? Because I can already see we're going down a particular path that is just like
this is a whole nother topic. Let's do this topic another night because this is all.
Yeah, right. I did
I'm not talking about this again with y'all.
Wait, I think Damien got enough from this one. He took his lashes, and let me tell you, salute to Damien. Handled himself very well to have a whole panel going after him,
as always.
And stuck to his guns.
We love his ass. He be all right.
Stuck to his guns and stood on his square. So salute to you, sir. Much respect.
It'll be a whole much more fun.
It's great.
Much respect.
It's great because most light skinned niggas are soft. And Dame is just not one of them dudes.
Damon can't be soft. It's too much at stake. Damon cannot be soft. I do want to respond.
It's a lot of light skinned dudes that ain't soft though. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, I was just fucking with him, man. I was just fucking with him. Shit.
I do agree. I do.
Man, listen.
I'm a light skinned dude. What happened? I do agree with. I do agree with Jonathan. I'm an atheist. I'm not a Christian, but I do agree with my. You guys know my eyebrow has always been raised in question mark about all races coming from one, African woman, because they're always finding shit. Who's not to say they're not gonna find shit in another 5,000 years when we're long gone, when we're fucking long gone. Like people just finding things over and over every day. You know what I mean? So I've never believed that either. It's just hard for me. And I know people are like, no, but science. It's very hard for me to believe that we got a George from a Jonathan. Sorry, not sorry. I can't fathom it. I don't care what side. No, but there's genes and genealogy. And over the years, the climate changed black people to pink people.
And then you got people saying, and I hate to say this, but within our black community, you got a lot of people who use that to make white people like somewhat inferior, like they're not complete, they don't have melanin. Like that stuff is weird. Because see, now your wife is like not even complete. Now your wife is like, you see what I'm saying? Like, what is she like, subhuman? Like I
get what you're saying, but that's exactly why they don't that people with less melanin survived in those climates was because
you know what? But I have said white people are subhuman. North. That's funny. But no, I have said white people are subhuman though.
I don't agree with it.
Because they don't cut. Because I don't know. Because they don't come from anything. This is why I say it. Because they don't come from anything. They don't have. And this is what I mean. Let me elaborate. They don't have a culture. They're not connected to nature. Like every person of color around the globe has their own culture. They're connected to the earth and the stars and the moon, and they got music and their food. White people got country music and some, I don't know, hot dogs and burgers. What is your culture? What's your culture? Correct me if I'm wrong. What's your culture? Like, school me.
Celtic religions, Druids. You got the Vikings, the Nords.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Vikings
were the first people to discover America.
That was just a group of white people. What did you do? What are the foods? What is the music?
It's culture.
What's the culture? It sounds like the culture is not being black.
You mean you've never heard of
beef and potatoes?
This is Paris. You've never heard of
this is a whole nother topic.
I don't consider Italian people white though.
They are white.
I'm talking about specifically the George Cooks, the pink people.
That's the problem. We limit
white
God's creation.
You know what I mean?
They are white. Italians, Greek, all these people around the Mediterranean.
That doesn't help.
With the arrival of the Moors in Sicily.
Okay, we're in there.
Okay.
I was like trying to grab us before we went down this rabbit hole.
No, because Greek people have their own.
Get off this part.
Italians.
but they're still white. You gotta accept that.
All right. Let's
white people. Listen. Let me explain something to you. White people are diverse within their own race, just like black people are diverse.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. Jen, all the food that Jen's cooking came over from Spain. So I don't know what we were talking about.
Which are white people.
No, it came from Africa.
Some of it from Africa.
Most of it from Africa. Most of it from Africa.
Tell me what parts.
Do you cook paella, Jen?
I don't cook paella, but I've eaten it.
Folks, let's just end this.
Yeah, this is a topic. We can do 2 parts on this.
We didn't make white people. I don't care what anybody says. We did not make white people.
All right.
Okay, we didn't make y'all.
Janicia. Thank you, Janicia.
Italians do have black in them, though.
Let's
we love
you all.
We didn't.
Thank you.
Listen, we didn't get to our topic. Can you guys come back tomorrow for the fucking topic? Now I gotta change the. I gotta change the thumbnail and everything for this show tonight.
Right.
And I'm gonna put a picture of Damien and all of us pointing at him.
Make it a good one. Make it that one that I got on my.
Ironically, though,
we're all gonna point at him. That's it.
Like this.
Ironically, though, guess what? We can blame this on the white man. George started it.
Yes, George.
Yes, you did. Colonizer.
All right. I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm gonna jump off.
All right, Dave. Be good, man.
Jonathan needs to come up here more often.
Please, Jonathan, come through.
Okay.
With your chocolate self. I see you, Jonathan, with your chocolate self. I see you, brother. Come on up here again.
How old are you?
How old are you?
I'm 41.
Oh, okay. You're right in there. How many kids?
I'm a single parent dad now. My son, like I said, was murdered last year, and now I only got.
Oh man, I'm sorry, brother.
I'm a single parent dad, 4-year-old.
4-year-old.
Ex-wife, divorced. She was crazy, but I still want my sisters. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie, the most I do is Hispanic, and I'm not saying that because she here right now.
Okay.
But I mean, you know, I don't knock people who you know, want love in other races. I don't care about that stuff. It's just, you know, I don't have confidence in bringing that to my mom.
Okay. You know? And you love your mama. I'm writing this down. Okay. No, I'm not mad at that. Okay. Wait. Oh, wait. I'm scared for this. How tall are you?
Tall. I knew she was gonna say that.
I'm tall enough.
Oh, okay. Confident with that 5. he confident as fuck with that 5'9". He said, tall enough. Taller than you, lady.
Ain't no wrong with 5'9". Shit.
You always know they 5'9" when they don't say it right.
There's nothing wrong with 5'9".
Ain't 5'7".
You said what? It ain't 5'7"? Okay. Woo. Okay. Not 5'7". Okay. There's hope. All right. On that note, guys, please come back, Jonathan. You were great on the panel. You really. We brought it to Damon tonight. Damon's gonna cry in the car.
Damien's hurt right now, y'all. We've hurt Damien's feelings.
He's used to it though. I'm sure.
They ain't no care.
Yeah, and they be trolling.
Shelly, you gonna come back?
Yeah,
Shelly
Damien was
come
like
back.
this. Just how y'all had Damien, y'all had him cotton down in the corner, like.
He's like, I hate it here.
Jen said, "You stupid." I think his head rung that when you said it.
I was like, you sound stupid. Yeah, I know. But Shelly, you don't know because you're new to the panel. After 2 hours is my limit. I turn into a gremlin after 2 hours. I tell people all the time, after 2 hours, it's like wetting a gremlin.
I'm sitting here like half sleep, and I got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Like,
oh my God, let's get out of here. All right, guys, thank you so much. Come back tomorrow.
I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Bye, white people. We didn't make y'all though. Good night, guys. Good night. Woo! That was a doozy. All right, guys, if you're still here for any strange reason and you enjoyed the show, please hit that like and subscribe. Don't forget, you can support Mama and Keep the Church Lights On at Cash App On the Block with Jen. We will see you here tomorrow. We didn't get into the topic I wanted to get into, but we will tackle it tomorrow. This week is going to be real good. I'm bringing some really, really good content this week. And then, of course, Freaky Friday on Friday and Sexy Saturday on Saturday. All right, guys. Oh, that would be fucking hilarious. Tate said, Dame is coming back with a dashiki on. That would be fucking hilarious. All right, guys. On that note, good night. Don't forget to support the show. Hit that like and subscribe, and leave me comments also in the comment section. That helps Mama with the algorithm too. Hope you enjoyed tonight, guys. Woo! That was some, huh? All right, guys. Good night. See you mañana. Lord Almighty. Good night, E Scrabble. Good night, Dawn. Good night, Steph. Thank you. Good night, Bloop Bloop. Good night, POP. Bloop Bloop. You had me dying. All right, guys. Good night.